Hello.
Hi.
Yes. We did it.
We did it. Okay, we're here after some scheduling delays.
David Sims.
Griffin Newman.
Yep.
Connor Ralliff's not here. I think we promised in the last episode he was going to be here. He's not here.
That was we should have talked about that before.
We should have talked about
He'll be back.
He'll be back. We'll have him back.
Yeah, it's just me and Griffin.
Yeah, past and future guests.
These commentaries, it's got to be a two-man job, unfortunately.
It's got because we're getting down and dirty.
Yeah, and we don't want to. Ben can't even be here because he doesn't want to do this shit.
We're opening up the hood. We're rolling up the sleeves. Hosley's staying in bed.
Most fans won't listen to this, I think. Although we do get a lot of
said that last time.
We get a lot of hashtag fact goodness.
Part of me thinks, I don't know if we can do the research to back this up. Part of me thinks that might have been our most popular episode. I've still had people in the last week or two telling me they just listened to the commentary.
I get that too. I do, like, it'll pop up in my feed, like, I just finally finished the commentary episode.
I think people like the novelty of it.
Yeah,
I know people who watched it with the movie, and I know people who watched, who just listened to it.
This is Attack of the Podcast.
Of course.
Right.
Griffin and David present Attack of the Podcast.
We're doing a commentary for episode 2.
This is the official
Star Wars episode 2.
Season finale.
Yeah.
This is the bonus, Jonas.
Yeah.
The Christmas special.
Yep.
We're wrapping it up. This is the last time we're gonna fucking watch this movie ever again, and then we get Ep 3, bro.
Yeah, we can talk about that.
Revenge of the Sith. Okay,
I just found it in my collection. I just hadn't noticed it before.
Yeah,
I thought it was a bonus disc.
I thought it was special features.
Yeah.
I thought it was special.
So we're watching the Blu-ray.
Okay. Yeah.
We've gone past, and then we made the mistake last time of watching the 20th Century Fox Home Entertainment logo. Not this time, my friend.
Right, which is not part of the actual time code. That's a separate.
It's not part of the time code. So we're going to sync up, starting with second one of the movie itself.
Yes.
So
now we had a little trouble getting it, so we might be one beat behind on the Fox drum roll.
That's okay.
But just stick with us. Okay, David, are you ready? We're gonna press.
Is it this button?
Press play. So get ready to press play.
I'm ready.
Ready?
Yep.
Do it. Yeah. Press play.
Oh, okay. You don't want to give me a countdown? 3.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. In episode 3, episode 2, episode 1.
Okay, that didn't work.
Okay, it didn't work. So everyone, false alarm, rewind.
Oh my god! All right, there we go.
There we go. Okay,
All
so now we're starting. If you're up by a second or two, it's probably fine. But sync up with my singing. Dun 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 dun. Judging the judge.
I just keep thinking about the movies we're going to do when we don't have Star Wars to do anymore.
I'm so excited.
Yeah, we have so many things.
Good thing there are only 3 Star Wars. Okay, long time ago in a galaxy far, far away.
It's not even funny. I'm also eating pizza.
David's eating pizza.
We agree.
This is always exciting.
Yeah, and it's cool that they did it again. It's
cool.
It's a good idea.
Yeah, I like continuity between sequels.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we've argued that one of the big problems with Attack of the Clones is that it a lot of ways
does not have a lot of continuity.
No, I mean, Chase Mitchell, our last guest, didn't even know it was a sequel.
I think maybe Chase was being cute with us.
Chase is a cute one.
Possibly our cutest guy.
He's our cutest. Is that right?
Guest. Now I'm going through the guy. He's very, very
Chase
cute.
is a cutie patootie. We've only had cute guests.
That is true.
Yeah. I mean, like
Rachel.
Lang's a real
cute.
cutie pie.
Oh my god.
A real cutie
She's so
pie.
fucking cute.
JD's a cute drink of water.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
A little more, something, it's sort of still waters run deep with him.
Oh, yeah.
There's a lot going on.
Oh, yeah.
So we're talking
even
over the really
Senator Amidala, former
Army of the Republic, assist the
overwhelmed Galactic Senate, creating Army of the Republic to assist the overwhelmed Jedi. God, I wish they played up the overwhelmed thing. I want to see the beleaguered Jedi movie.
Well,
I want to see like Glengarry Glen Ross, so they're all in the office.
Yeah.
It's raining outside.
We gotta bring in 10 more younglings this month.
They're so overwhelmed.
Well, they do kind of try to mention it as like, Mace Windu and Yoda being like,
Yeah, but not to beat the same drum over and over again. But it's like, the classic like show don't tell thing. Mm-hmm. Like these movies, they tell you things. They never show you through action.
It's very true.
These characters going through emotional crises.
I want to start.
You just hear them say plaintively, like,
"Look at these dorks.
These guys are so dorky."
All right, so I want to say, to start off. Remember we talked about it once before, but one of our listeners made a silent edit of the first 20
so good.
I have watched it like 10 times and shown it to all of my friends, and all my friends are like, "Whoa, this is cool."
Yeah.
And I feel like I didn't give him enough of a shout out because you asked me about it and I hadn't watched all of it yet because he just shown it to us. He should do the whole movie.
He should do the whole movie.
Because he obviously he's made some serious edits in that. And like if he could get this movie down to like an hour 20.
Yeah.
Silent, no dialogue, I think it'd be great.
Limited title cards
that are mostly kind of cute.
But it's like only the things that cannot be conveyed through action. Because the performances are weirdly, we talked about this, the performances work better silently.
Oh yeah, so much better.
And everything's so overstated because everyone's so uncomfortable that they all read physically better than they read emotionally, you know?
Yeah. And they've got such elaborate costumes and looks.
But the design looks better.
I hate this sequence. It's so sterile.
Oh, it's the worst. But I would argue, I mean, with all the stuff JD was talking about,
man, that was an episode that when we were recording and I was like, is this boring? Like JD's talking a lot, but it's kind of fun to listen back to. It's not our best one.
I've gotten a lot of really strong
No. I think it's just interesting to have him very clearly lay out, like, you know why you think this looks weird? Yeah. You're right. And here's why.
And JD just fucking knows everything.
Yeah, well, he does.
JD is amazing.
JD's crazy.
Kind of
he's
ask him any
computer.
subject and he just
But then again, he was like texting us at 1 a.m. telling us to watch The Bachelor. Like, he has his weird sort of like sinkholes where he's like, don't you get that this is fascinating? And I'm just like, yeah, I guess so. But
JD does have a group text with us where he sometimes shares insane opinions.
He does. And like, he talks about it like he's saying, like, you gotta watch like The Americans or True Detective. You know, he's saying it like it's.
Well, yeah. Well, and it's like there's such a wide gulf because the things that JD recommends are either like, like very, very highbrow or very obscure, you know? It's like deep cut, like Trauma, or like Armando cult movies. It's like you need to see, or like very obscure, kind of like highbrow Eastern European art films, or it's like
the Ernest movies.
He loves the Ernest,
or basically like kind of like children's entertainment of his lifetime that does not have like a mass market sheen to it, but has kind of a weird individuality to it, like Ernest movies, like the Muppets and all this sort of.
Well, there's the other reality show he loves. Utopia.
Well, that was kind of an interesting concept. All right, so wait, we're not talking about the movie at all.
We got to talk about the
we're having a throne meeting here.
Yoda's overwhelmed. There's a guy who looks like Wald, our buddy from Phantom Menace.
Oh yeah, but in a grown-up version.
Kit Fisto in the background. Kit Fisto in the background is a great design.
Great design. Wish they could have had him even say a word. He is cool.
Yeah,
he kind of looks like an alien from Men in Black with like the big eyes and the tentacles.
You know, he looks like the grown-up version of the baby.
Yeah, that's
the squid baby.
Okay. Now, this is Padme Dolezal.
This is the infamous Padme Dolezal scene. Yes.
Oh wait, I need to turn on the subtitles.
Yeah. God, look at how frizzy.
Yeah, well, it's the hair being frizzy. Yeah.
Her hair is like kinky as shit. Like Rose Byrne looking so uncomfortable.
Yeah. Really a disaster.
Kaya Di-Madi. His head is such a wiener. It's funny.
I always forget this, but I want to remember it. Kaya Di-Madi, that dude, that's the voice of Nute Gunray.
Yeah.
So we should hold him responsible.
For everything.
Yeah, when her hair is like this.
Yeah. Okay, turn these subtitles on.
I'm sorry. I'm like looking up how to do it.
Boy.
Because I don't want to pause the movie by mistake.
This is the very opening of the movie is like you see cool spaceships and something blows up.
There's an explosion,
and then the most like fucking like cold fish, boring boardroom conversation. You know?
Yeah.
Totally. It's not that I don't like dialogue. It's just that like look at how stilted and staid everything is.
Well, and the thing we're noticing where it looks like they're standing in front, not of a blue screen, but literally of a projection. Like they're lit wrong.
Yeah.
Rose Byrne is looking just in the wrong direction.
Yes.
In every take.
Because she's been like there was her fucking like second movie or something. I listened to her episode WTF. She had only done like independent Australian film up until this point, you know. So they're like fucking in a real house, you know, working with real actors.
Look at these colors.
It's insane, and there's just like no depth. Like everything looks really flat. It's like the effect that the Wachowskis purposefully strove for in Speed Racer, where they wanted to look like a cartoon. Right. This looks like that by accident. Where like right here, they're in the floating elevator. And they're sitting in front of the window.
There's no sense that they're moving.
No, but that just looks like just a screen behind them. That doesn't look like there's a plane of glass and then behind that is a street and then behind that is a building.
But it's not intentional.
Look at how bad his fake beard is, right?
And you're right. It's really bad.
Because you can see the soul patch is like a totally separate piece.
Yeah.
This was...
it looks like a stage beard. He looks like a Laurence Olivier,
Yeah. We should speak about that briefly.
Oh, man. Look at this. Look how horrible his walking is. Jar Jar does not... Now you understand why Jar Jar looks the way he does in episode 1, because giving him a cloak just makes him look more unrealistic.
So, I think
it would have been even better, though, if Jar Jar had to get right in the elevator and been like, I have a meeting to go to. Just, to really hammer home, he's not in this movie, guys.
I'm sorry, you're not going to see me again. I'm busy. I'm so busy this week. I got a full docket of appointments. I just want to say hi very briefly, and then I'll be out of your hair for the next week. What's the timeline of this movie? It's about a week, right?
That's a good question. If that.
Right?
Might be 5 days.
That's crazy.
That's true. It's never thought about that.
And Phantom Menace 2 is also 5 days.
Really wraps it. Mm-hmm. Look at this.
She's smiling and she's dolezalling so hard right now. So is this
I can't believe I ever fought you on that.
Yeah, right?
I know.
You thought I was projecting. Look,
I did.
I have my history of racial complications on this podcast.
This guy sucks. This guy sucks.
Oh, this guy's the worst.
What's his name?
Fucking eye patch. What's his name?
Get him in Card Trader all the time.
Typho. Yeah, he's a horrible card to get.
He really is.
He's one of the least fun cards to get. Okay, so look, McGregor's beard is totally normal here.
Right.
Now it's real, which makes me think that elevator scene was...
Right at the start.
No.
Oh, you think it was at the end? They were just like, we need some exposition.
I think that was year later reshoots. Mm-hmm. I think he was off filming Moulin Rouge, was clean cut. Georgie Porgy comes in as like, I need you for reshoots. I need more humor in the movie. Let's add some more laughers. Oh, God, what a dead
He's being really annoying.
He's being so annoying.
He's immediately treading all over Obi-Wan's feet for no good reason.
Yeah. And they had a fun banter in the last scene, and now suddenly they're just at each other's throats.
And no one seems worried. No. It's crazy that this meeting is occurring 40 minutes after one of her handmaidens was blown up in front of her.
Yes.
There's basically brain matter still on her dress.
That fucking moment when Jar Jar looks at the camera and smiles is insane. That is
it's insane.
Insane.
I forgot that he unloads on Jar Jar.
Yeah. Jar Jar, who he hasn't seen in 6 years. This isn't the kind of conversation you have with someone you haven't spoken to in
Why haven't they hung out?
Jar Jar and Anakin?
No, yeah, well, sure, Jar Jar and Anakin. Why not? But any of them.
I don't know.
Hang out?
Because it was a bad time. They don't want to relive that.
I mean, but
Jar Jar's probably calling them every weekend, being like, remember?
No.
Okay, Zam Wessel, she's a changeling.
I feel all of that was removed in the silent cut.
Yes, it was.
The silent cut goes right to this.
Yeah, which is perfect.
Which is much better. And also, as much as I don't love the visuals, I like this better.
I do
I like the color. It's okay.
I do too.
This set is just one of the worst sets.
Yes. Well, and here's the thing I would say that the silent cut corrects is I find the artificiality of it, the creakiness of the visuals. I almost say because I like a certain heightened artificiality when done well and done consciously.
Sure.
But the creakiness of the visuals I find more acceptable in black and white, which is by nature a more unreal medium. It feels dreamlike.
Absolutely. And plug another podcast. Have you ever listened to You Must Remember This?
Yes, I love it. The best.
It's so good.
Love it.
I'm binging on it now.
Okay.
I did the Manson thing first.
I'm behind on Manson. I'm 3 behind on
I listened to all of that and then I went back to the beginning and now I'm just I just listened to an episode about Raquel Welch.
Yes.
So I'm sort of but the way she talks about it's a great podcast hosted by Karina Longworth.
Excellent. Please listen to it.
About silent movies and
what if she gets a huge bump from this?
That'd be crazy.
Yeah.
it's the best. You must remember this. Oh yeah, it was silent movies, and you know how everyone had this makeup caked on them because the lighting was so bad, and the acting had to be so over the You forgive a lot of stuff.
You forgive a lot of it. And talk about this where they're all overly made up and the colors are weird. But the one thing you can say for the way this film is...
They are really made up. Wow.
It is very, very high contrast.
Right.
It's very contrasty in a way that benefits from black and white. I mean, look at the use of shadows here. It looks weird when there's 17,000 different colors on screen.
It's also weird that it's not so loud.
Yeah.
Sorry, carry on.
No, but I'm saying when you reduce it to grayscale, those shadows are actually kind of moody and effective.
Chris, is that his name? I forget his name.
Who did the cut?
Yeah, who did the cut? I think it's Chris. I forget his last name
now.
But anyway,
go look it up.
No, it's okay.
I want to.
We'll plug it on
credits too. He's.
All right, I'll look it up.
Yeah, look at the sonic cut.
But anyway, he did a great job.
He did an amazing job.
One thing that annoys me plot-wise, because we should stop talking about the visuals because we've done that so much.
R2-D2 is a room guard.
Yeah, we're in the... R2-D2 is a robot? Is that what you just said?
As a room guard.
Oh, he's as a Roomba?
A room guard.
Oh, fuck. What was it? Oh, yeah, plot-wise. I hate this, and I hate this in so many other things, like in Harry Potter.
Yeah, okay.
Where Anakin's like, I've been having these bad dreams. And they're like, look, it's just a dream. And it's like, well, the logic of this world dictates that the dreams are often prophecies.
Yeah.
So maybe you should listen to him. And it's annoying.
Oh, that was a deleted scene that we forgot to talk about in the chase episode. There's
Go ahead.
In the deleted scenes, there are like 2 more deleted scenes where he has nightmares.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
So that when he has the one nightmare...
They're bad. Colin M. Scott.
He's Colin It Quits.
Yeah, Colin It Quits on Twitter. 2 L's.
Yes, Colin M. Scott. Thank you so much. You're the fucking best.
Yeah, he's the best. Yeah. So you're the worms are climbing up.
So let's keep track of all the things that are the fucking best. Colin, you must remember this.
Oh, so good.
Running tally. What I was going to say is, in this film, he's saying, I don't know, I'm having weird dreams, like at the very beginning, right?
Right.
And then an hour and 30 minutes later, he wakes up from a nightmare and he's like, Padme, I gotta go see my mom. And it feels weird.
It does.
There were 2 deleted scenes that were cut that are shitty on their own. But at least show that the dream thing is a recurring thing and the mom thing's coming back in, so that decision seems less out of the blue.
Right. Maybe they'll return to that in episode 3 and it won't be a problem there at all.
Well, you just imagine George in the editing room. It's a catch-22 and it's like, okay, so these scenes
This movie is too long.
The movie is too long.
The final cut is too long, so, you know.
These scenes on their own are garbage.
Right, yeah,
I can either cut them...
Every scene that is cut is so bad.
Right, and make the movie less boring on a minute-to-minute basis. But by cutting this, I make other developments later on less earned.
Now, I should say, this is, according to you, at least at the beginning of this podcast, your favorite part. Like all this,
the first 30 minutes?
Yeah,
I mean, I don't like it anymore.
The chase scene and the...
Yeah.
It's kind of all... Yeah, right, and here we're going to see Sebulba, as JD pointed out.
I miss that.
I know, it's crazy.
See.
Well, it's because we don't care.
And he's with another pod racer. Yeah,
there
right? Oh, yeah, he's with
another one of them. I can't remember which one.
Jedi Poo. Yeah, that's insane. It's like a close... I didn't... Because he isn't wearing the goggles, and he's got a smart red...
He's old, right. Yeah, he looks very dignified for Sebulba.
Jesus Christ, Sebulba.
And here, I mean, really, the worst assassin.
Yeah.
Because, like, all she does is load the fucking worms into a canister.
Yeah.
And then call that being an assassin?
She's got a clear shot.
Oh, yeah.
Clear
She's
shot.
got, like, a laser rifle. Yeah.
I mean, what's her goal? I don't know. Maybe she made the shot. I would shoot him rather than shoot the droid that she paid for. That's her own property.
I see, but maybe she wants to destroy the evidence. That's I can see that.
No, I mean,
I love this, by the way. Anakin's so good and maneuvers so well, and then at the last second, Obi-Wan lands in the back, like rather than in the seat. Like, why not just have him land in the seat? They're Jedis.
Yeah.
Look at this.
And that shot of him falling is like, there's no force to it.
It's
no
terrible.
pun intended. It's clearly just like
he's just being lowered.
Ewan McGregor on a chair holding his arms out and they're blowing a fan on it.
God, it's so annoying.
Okay, let's talk about that line for a second.
It's really the most labored, and they're driving around. They should be screaming in each other's ears.
If you spend as much time practicing your saber techniques,
your
saber techniques as your wit, you'd be, as great a fighter, as great a swordsman as Master Yoda, is what he said, right?
Yep.
Now, to your point about they should be yelling right here, they said in one of the behind-the-scenes documentaries that they had to ADR all this dialogue because they had so many fans.
Right. Makes sense.
Shooting at Christensen and McGregor to make it look like the wind was blowing through their head.
Right.
So all this dialogue was ADR'd, so it'd be so easy for them to, in post, go, hey, remember how it was really loud when we were filming and we couldn't hear you?
Right.
Speak at that volume.
Yeah, have them shout.
And instead they're just like, well, you know, I heard them.
But, all right, but do you have a problem with that line?
Yes,
Apart
I do.
from that it's horrible.
Yeah, well, it's a terrible piece of writing.
Yes.
But beyond that...
And it's beyond, like, any language. No one speaks like that. No one speaks like that.
Beyond that line implies if you spend as much time practicing your saber technique as you do your wit...
Right. Implies that he's funny.
Implies that he's funny.
Which is really outrageous.
Not just like, oh, you're a little funny. Implies that he's so funny that if he committed to practicing his lightsaber technique in the same way he sits down and cracks jokes, he goes to open mics and he just fucking grinds.
What if he
works.
does? What do you think open mics are like in the Coruscant?
So here's, I don't know, this is like a kernel of idea. I don't know what I got here yet. You know when you got like a Jedi Master and he's riding your ass real hard? It's like I don't know, what am I supposed to do? I fucking force myself to work harder. I don't. That's not something. There's something there. I don't have it yet. I'm just trying to work on my wit as hard as I do my lightsaber technique.
That's interesting. I hadn't noticed that line Anakin said before.
Well, it's a short.
That was very funny. No, the thing where he's like, "Look, I don't want this guy to die. Like, we should. I want to find out what he's about. Like, he's being smart. I don't know. It doesn't matter. I hate this. I hate her. Is she gonna do the thing where she changes her face for no reason?
Coming up. Changeling.
No, not just yet. I think it's when they're on.
It is at a totally random.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
It's
totally
random. Sneezing. It's like it's just an involuntary thing.
He's gonna do the thing now.
That was some shortcut, Anakin.
It's really annoying that they're saying he as well, even though you get obviously they don't know who it is yet. Come on.
But she presents as female,
and like
even from a distance.
Like, do we need to like carry that into the Star Wars universe? This like, oh, it's an assassin. It must be a guy.
Well, and it feels like they're doing that as a setup for a joke to be like, he's a she.
Oh yeah, right. Which they do, and then he's like, and she's. Double take a changeling.
Yeah. But is it that surprising, A? Should we not? I mean, David, in their defense, it was a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away.
Well, that's not a good defense. Just because they have that one piece of text, this is very clearly the future.
It's a period piece. It's a foreign film, and it's a period
I think she's about to do it. Fuck, when did she do it? I kind of like the noise, the Ben Burt noise of the sort of wail to the engine.
Are so good.
Yeah, that thing.
There she goes.
There it is.
She looks over her shoulder and it just changes.
It's basically like, if she puts her head over her right shoulder.
She does it again and it didn't happen. There's no rhyme or reason for why it happens in that one moment.
And so this is the first lightsaber.
That's fun when he's knocking it around. Yeah. Obi-Wan catches it, puts it in the seat. That's a bad place to put it. It's just like on the seat.
He just puts it on the seat in a convertible.
Fly out again. Yeah. Put it in the glove compartment or something.
It's also annoying that Anakin's like, look, I don't want this lady to fry. Like, let's find out what she knows. So I'm going to jump on her car and swing a lightsaber wildly through the sunroof. That'll work.
You know what else is annoying?
This whole movie?
Yeah, this whole movie.
Yeah, the whole movie's pretty annoying. It's just the movie has a lot riding on introducing you to Anakin. God, that looked really bad. This shit really bad. That looked like the PlayStation game Wipeout. Remember that game?
Yeah.
Anyway, the movie's like, it's giving you Anakin. This is a whole new character, basically. Like, it's got a lot going on it. It's right off to the worst foot.
Yeah, it is a whole new character. If you're seeing it, I mean, there's a big difference between who someone is when they're 19 and who someone is when they're like 8.
Of course.
Right?
And who someone is when they're a slave and who someone is when they're a fucking Jedi.
And two wildly different actors. Mm-hmm. You can't presume audience empathy. No. Already, I think it's dangerous for sequels to walk and just go, well, you love these characters, so you love them still. Like, you do have to do a little like lifting to realign your audience with your characters in a sequel, let alone a character that's changed this much from the last time we saw him. There's nothing in common with the little boy we saw and hated in the last film.
That's true.
Did you see that fake beard again?
Yep.
Right? It looks like straw.
He says she went in there, and he says he went in there to hide. Obi-Wan won't drop this,
and not to be this binary, but she looks like a lady, even with the cloak.
Yeah.
The mask over the veil.
Veil?
That's the word I was looking for.
Yeah.
But she's she's got a nice, tight little lady body.
All right.
She's wearing purple. She's got tight little.
All right. So some of the sports we've got pod racing. We've got some weird soccer on wheels, and some sort of Olympic with trolls, sort of Olympic sprinting.
Olympic trolls. Weird amount of humans in this bar, but humans that all are dressed in kind of an alternative way.
Right.
Because we've seen what the standard fashion is on Coruscant, and we're supposed to believe that we're in Midtown Coruscant.
Right. They spent a ton of time on this ship. There was Ahmed Beck, and here's
Elon Sleazebagano.
I don't want to say that, sis.
Oh God, what a good performance! Best supporting actor.
I really don't know what you're talking about.
Did you watch that supercut that the guy did, where it was all the different characters at the bar? It went viral this week.
No.
This guy took
Oh, you mean in many movies throughout?
Yeah, he took 20 different movies where there's a key scene in a bar and cut them together to make it look like it's all the same characters in the same bar. But he
That's a cool idea.
Used this as the spine of it. So it starts with them walking in here. The idea is the bar scenes are shot kind of similarly and often have a similar color palette to this, which is heavy reds and purples. And so they use this, Saturday Night Fever, Scarface, Carlito's Way, the first Terminator when he goes into the Tech Noir Club. It's a really, really sharp piece of editing, and it's interesting. It makes you think about film construction. Because you can kind of it's all about having Anakin look off in one direction, which in this movie is
make
to look
eye
at Sam
contact with someone, right?
Right, and if they cut back to the Terminator looking, it feels like they're in the same scene.
No, I get it.
You adjust the color just a little bit. Kind of any two movies can be the same movie. And now back to a changeling. But the point is, every other movie they use in that is a movie that's not only was successful, but is kind of beloved and iconic. And specifically the bar scene was iconic.
Right.
And most people who don't host a podcast about Attack of the Clones, I think would be hard pressed to remember that there was a bar scene in Attack of the Clones.
I mean, I feel like that you'll be the death of me line. Some people, I don't know. Yeah. Here we are in the Jedi Council.
And their little poop chairs, toilet chairs.
Let's see who we can notice.
Plu Clune
and
Cockroach Face.
Who's that guy?
The Ravi Shankar guy.
Yeah, I don't know who he is.
He's the yogi.
Who's that pterodactyl guy?
God, he's got a dumb name. I knew all these people's names. I did earlier say that I could name probably any background character.
No, some of them are.
But some of them, I've looked all of them up.
I think in Phantom Menace we could.
Phantom Menace, I think so, yeah. That's Yoda. I know that character's name. That's Yoda. It's Yoda sitting on the toilet chair.
Yep.
I always forget that Coyote has a ponytail.
He has a ponytail and he has some cowboy boots.
But it doesn't look like he has roots on the rest of his head. It doesn't look like hair.
It just grows out of the ponytail spot on his head.
Yeah, but on the back of the tip of his penis head.
Oh, God.
Ian McDermott is really good in this.
He is. I just wish there was more of him. He kind of gets the same amount of screen time is devoted to him and Count Dooku combined.
Yes.
And so he's only really here at the beginning, right? This is his last scene.
Yeah.
No, that's not true. He has a scene in the Senate.
Yes. The two of them are doing the same kind of thing. They're bringing the right level of theatricality.
Yes, absolutely.
Tongue-in-cheek sort of
this set is so horrible.
It's poorly designed.
And then this set is horrible. See, look, and that looks like a matte painting.
Yeah, well, those three people in the foreground who are just there talking were clearly shot at completely different times. It just feels like they copy-pasted them into the corner, which is what they did.
I'm trying to remember if this but this. I like that it's a matte painting behind, kind of. But it doesn't work with this
but the way matte
foreground.
The way matte paintings usually work is they build the set out to a degree,
yes, right.
and then the matte painting continues it from there.
Of course.
If it's all fucking matte painting, it just looks like someone's standing in front of a painting.
Well, it's the problem that we just noticed before. We really need to stop harping on it because they get it.
Yeah, and JD, we'll never put it any better than JD did. That's I lost that touch with putting in the new window. That's pretty cool. I've never seen that before. I never noticed that before, rather. I'd seen this movie
so he's
45.
Representative Binks?
Sometimes they become senator, though, right? Or does he only become senator once Amidala's on leave?
I don't fucking know.
Yeah, Jar Jar, how do I put this? I don't want to hold you up, but maybe...
Jar Jar, I already regret my decision.
Yeah. But Representative Binks makes more sense because we brought this up. She's the senator of Naboo.
Yep.
He also lives in Naboo.
Sure.
He just lives in a different part of Naboo.
He does. He represents different race.
It's like if de Blasio was the mayor of New York and I deemed myself the mayor of Little Italy. You know? It's like,
you don't live in Little Italy.
No, but I could run. Sure. Hillary didn't live in New York. She was our senator.
Yeah, are you mad about that?
Yeah, furious. Still.
To this day.
Yeah.
Carpetbagger.
Live in a place.
I really hate this piece of luggage on the bed.
Dumb. It looks like Sharper Image Birthstone shit. It doesn't actually look like future luggage.
Yes, it doesn't look futuristic at all. What she's wearing is out of control stupid. He's just showing off. This is like him just like pulling his dick out for her.
It's especially out of control stupid when you think that she's about to travel.
Yeah. It's crazy.
Like, what are you wearing?
Is this like her post-shower, pre-lunch dress? Is that what it is?
That metal thing she has in her hair is the equivalent of her wrapping the towel around her head.
Like, look at this.
Yeah. Well, what do you wear when you're on an airplane? How do you dress? What's your...
Oh, I try to just, comfortably. I don't know.
Right?
Yeah, of course.
I never get those people who try to dress up nice for a plane.
No, I mean, I think that's a bygone era. You know, people would wear suits and get on the plane. Now, you want to wear like your rattiest, baggiest, like softest clothing.
Right, and it's like, I'm going to feel...
Because you're going to sweat into it.
I fart so much on planes.
Of course.
Yeah, so it's like when I get out, I'm going to go back to where... I get off the plane, I'm going to get in the shower, I'm going to take off those clothes.
Exactly.
I want clothes that I'm not going to
It's kind of like going to the barber.
But you save your best shirt for like a good day of the week.
Yeah, of course.
Ooh, this shirt, I love this shirt.
I know.
The plane, you go, these are the clothes I wouldn't want to wear any other day.
Yeah, because you're going to suffer the whole day.
It's the stuff, the grease stains on.
What she's saying makes her feel uncomfortable.
I don't know. The way he looks at her.
He's fucking leering.
It's the way he looks at her. It's his creepy leer eyes. Dumb movie. I hate this movie.
It's a bad movie. I kind of like that transport ship.
Yeah, I do too. That space tram.
It's kind of similar to the thing they had in Age of Ultron. Isn't it crazy how Age of Ultron is just now like dead? Last time we were recording this, it had just come out.
Yeah.
And now everyone's just like, no.
Yeah.
I think it's a good movie.
I know.
I think people need to chill out. Yeah. Rose Byrne is just like, just let me, please pay attention to me.
Yeah. But this is how you learn.
It's how she learned. Look, she could make a mistake in clones because it's clones.
Exactly. It is crazy. It feels like Age of Ultron is like already sort of like swept under the rug, and it is like the 9th highest grossing movie of all time.
Yep. And people are like dismissing it as a failure, and I feel like
it is. I mean, it's a disappointment that it made $200 million less than the first one.
I guess so.
But the first one was the
outlier
movie of all time.
Even within the Marvel strictures, even with the movies that came after the first one, the first one is an outlier.
Yeah.
And it's an outlier in a similar way to Jurassic World, where people were like, didn't think it was going to be this big a hit.
Sometimes things just catch a weird wave.
Yeah. I mean, Age of Ultron came out the worst time because remember it had to compete with like
Furious 7.
The boxing match and Furious 7.
Right.
And, there was like a lot of like stuff that depressed the opening weekend. I don't know.
And I know you like Age of Ultron and defend it heartily, but you would not contend it's as good as the first movie.
No, definitely not.
There's a magic to the first movie.
There is. I can't deny that. But I also think that like I have a feeling we're going to look back and be like, oh yeah, Age of Ultron was actually great. And maybe that was I don't know. We'll see.
But in terms of why things catch flow. In terms of why things catch box office fire and why they don't, You can like analyze it, but like Jurassic World is just like it was kind of the right movie at the right time.
Oh, totally.
Like it's a shitty movie, but it's like
no, people wanted a
love
dinosaur
Chris
movie.
Pratt. They wanted a dinosaur movie. Nostalgia was at an all-time high for the original. Enough time had passed, people forgot that the sequels were shitty. You know, like everyone was going into it in the right way, and they'll never be able to replicate the excitement the Avengers of. We're actually putting all these characters in the same movie. And
No, of course,
and it works.
Maybe they can pull something off at 3.
I don't think I'll ever have the same power that did the first time.
Probably not.
I mean, I remember my buddy Sam would, when like Avengers was in development, would just constantly say, "I refuse to believe that movie is being made."
Yeah, I felt the same way.
And it went into production, and he went, "Something's going to go wrong. They're going to shut it down."
Yeah, it did feel like it was like, come on, like, how are you going to get all these people in? But
the trailers were out. He said it's going to catch on fire. They're going to lose every print. The movie won't exist. Like,
wait, you're talking over
Dexter
your favorite
Jettster, my favorite guy.
He's not.
This is analysis droids. Only focus on symbols. Huh.
I still can't figure out what his accent is. It's so hard to place.
Wisdom.
It's quite a question Obi-Wan poses there. If George could think none of us would be here.
The back of his head, it's like he's got like dreadlocks.
Yeah.
He's got like dreadlock
But they're like tied together with like a rubber band.
Yeah, but he's got the braids on like the side. He's got like 4 separate dreadlocks.
Don't like this. It looks bad.
Oh, he's the best. This guy's like a Sebulba creature, but
yeah, he's a Doug.
Yeah. I think Dexter Jettster, the design is great, and the actual quality of the animation is terrible.
It's really bad.
It's PlayStation 1.
The design is fine.
I love
it. Pocketbook is.
I love his mustache.
I don't like this scene because Obi-Wan is clearly not reacting to anything, and he just sort of like, I mean, that's kind of creepy when Dexter Jettster's like, pocketbook.
Yes.
And Obi-Wan just kind of like thinly smiles.
Yeah, because
like,
he didn't know how they were going to animate it. He didn't fucking know.
Oh, God.
Jocasta knew.
Yeah, Jocasta knew. It's just like, Camino, I've never heard of it.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Dooku, a generous lover. What were you saying?
I just don't get how, if a fucking diner owner has heard of Camino, this lady is like, no, I don't know what that is. The word means nothing to me.
So condescending. Well, I hate to say it, but if the system you're looking for isn't in our library, then it doesn't exist. She states it again. It does not exist. Now she tends to this little boy.
And the Jedi Library is a bit of a bummer too. There's just no dust in this world, you know? That's the problem. There's no like,
I want grit. I want a history. I want a sense of history. Everything looks like it just opened.
Yeah, everything looks, yes. I have been getting a little bit back into Harry Potter because I wrote this story about Harry Potter.
Okay, can I just point out quickly that
Go ahead.
The in brackets the subtitle said raspberries.
Yes, yeah, for R2D2 blowing a raspberry.
Yeah,
that's pretty funny.
Funny.
That is funny.
It was just like I would never describe it as like R2D2 blows a raspberry.
So he just sort of like buzzes at people.
But it's like that's his version of raspberry.
Here we go. First mention of love being foreign.
Attachment is forbidden.
Attachment is forbidden.
But this backs up the point that I made in our last episode. Compassion, which I was defining as unconventional love, central to a Jedi's life, is forbidden. The point I made was...
He's saying it's not forbidden. He's saying compassion is allowed.
Right. So you're allowed to fuck around. You're allowed to get nasty. That's what we were talking about.
I mean, I think that's what he means when he sort of says attachment is forbidden, and then kind of smiles at her like, might as well be saying like, look,
no strings attached. Yeah, he's giving a preview of what Morgan's got coming up in her career.
God, it just looks like shit.
But that's my point. Sex is not forbidden for the Jedi.
Yeah.
We must not presume that Jedis are virgins.
How could sex be disallowed when it's an alien galaxy? You know, there must be species that like need sex to live or whatever.
Oh yeah, and we also all know that Plo Koon's a fucking horn dog.
That guy can
stop sticking his cockroach dick in anything that moves.
This scene is weird.
Love it.
You like this scene?
Yeah.
It's interesting.
Did you watch the behind the scenes thing about this?
No, I don't think so.
The reason why a couple of the kids are CGI'd, as if they have to come up with
Is it because George Lucas just thought they were too ugly?
No, it's because he wanted alien kids, but they didn't want to make the kids sit in the makeup.
Yeah, no, I mean that makes sense for such a small scene.
Yeah, but I just love that she was like, unfortunately we had to do all this digital effects for this sequence because the kids couldn't sit in the makeup chair. It's like, oh god, that must have irked George so much to have to do these digital effects.
He really hates that.
I bet you're pulling out his teeth telling him, George, we're gonna have to go digital. Gravity's silhouette remains. What are you talking about, Yoda?
You
think that's a stoppered line? Gravity's silhouette
It's
remains.
sort of an interesting line, but it's not represented here. It's just a bunch of lights, and he's just kind of jabbing his finger at whatever.
Yeah. Did I tell you I used to have an action figure of the little Jedi kids?
No.
It was a pack.
We haven't done toys.
Yeah, because, I did more research to back this up. There was a big thing about how much they scaled back the merchandising for Attack of the Clones because they overproduced for Phantom.
Did they pump it back? Well, will there be toy stuff for Revenge of the Sith?
Yes, they pumped it way back up.
Yeah, it makes sense.
I think we're going to have a good merchandise spotlight.
This movie, because it didn't make as much money.
No.
Yeah, they were just like, let's just lay low with this one.
This one, they were just trying to get by.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were
trying. This is the middle one. It doesn't really have a beginning or an end. It's not that good, let's be honest.
This was sophomore year. Yeah. This is just get through it. Next year's going to be hard.
Yeah, and then
Senior year is going to be a breeze.
Yeah, we got it. Don't worry.
Freshman year's introductory.
Yoda's just like, yeah, great. I'll meditate on that. Meditate on what? On the fact that someone deleted some shit from the Jedi? I don't think it needs meditation. You just hire a guy, look into it.
They have private investigators in this world.
This is Naboo.
Yeah, but I had a little action figure set that was Yoda on the floating chair and then the little Jedi boy. I just thought the Jedi kids were...
Of course, because you want to be a Jedi kid.
I want to be a little Jedi kid.
Well, Jesus, Padme.
I'm not sure I was ready to be the queen of a planet. How are our levels?
It seemed fine.
Yeah.
It's hard to know.
Can I have a slice of pizza?
Oh, yeah, of course.
Yeah.
There you go.
Sir.
Yep. Just eat it. You'll be good.
Yeah, I'll be fine.
Yeah, we're in my bedroom right now, where the magic happens.
Eating pizza, watching clones.
Watching some clones. God, I'm gonna have to watch the third one, but not next week, right? Next week we're doing Fantastic Four.
Oh yeah, we should announce that right here.
Yeah, let's just ignore
next week. We're doing the Podcastic 2.
Yeah, that's right. That's your name for it.
Yeah.
So am I going to have to watch every Fantastic Four movie?
I don't know if we have to watch.
The Corman one is on YouTube.
Have you seen it before?
I don't know if I've ever sat through the entire thing. I've seen lots of it before.
I think it's worth watching. I don't know if I'm going to rewatch all of them. I have a lot of thoughts prepared. I think
you should rewatch the Tim Story ones though, because I think there's a lot of interesting.
I'll do it then.
Yeah, even though they're bad.
Yeah, let's save our thoughts. Let's not even talk about them here though, because I mean,
mostly inspired by you finally saw the Trank movie.
I don't want to tell you anything about what I thought,
but you can't have liked it, can you?
No, but my thoughts are complex. We're doing the Podcastic 2. We're talking about the entire failed history of representing those characters on screen.
That is a bitch move where she shuts him down. She's like, oh, he's not Jedi.
Well, he's a Padawan learner. Apprentice, right? He's an apprentice. He's not a Padawan anymore. He's an apprentice.
He is a Padawan.
Are you a Padawan until you're Jedi? I thought it was
you're a youngling first, then you're a Padawan.
Okay.
And the Padawans have the braids. Maybe the younglings are always Padawan.
Yeah.
Well, if you have the braid, you're a Padawan.
Okay.
I'm pretty,
So Padawan is just anything on the path to becoming a Jedi. That's the umbrella term that contains youngling,
I think so,
apprentice. Yeah.
And then or knight, I think.
This is a cool ship. I do like that thing that there's the ring that has the extra thrust.
I guess so.
But then why does he leave?
It bothers me from a logic perspective. Yeah.
And he can just come back, pick it up later?
I don't know.
And this droid's a basic bitch. Let's acknowledge that.
Oh
What's
my God.
This guy's name? R5?
I think it's R4.
Piece of shit.
So lame.
Right.
All right, so
he's got a smart red paint job, but other than that.
Landing on Camino.
Okay.
Another thing. Like Coruscant, it's traffic, and Camino, it's rain.
It's the rain
There's all
plan.
this background, there's all this background detail. Yeah, Coruscant's the traffic planet, where it's like, see, like, look at this landscape we built. But it's like, well, okay, but it's like two things. It's the background planet and then the boring set.
Also, choose your battles wisely. See, I know I keep on harping on this. I think these creatures look really good. I think these hold up. I think that's decent character animation.
I'm just so infuriated by the fact that he walks in a door.
Uh-huh.
One door.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, oh yeah, the leader of the planet is in this next room.
And does look inquisitive, just walks in and goes, hey, how's it going?
Yeah, you're expected.
Oh,
and
hello,
he's not like, oh, good. He's like, what? Like, he just landed on a platform on a planet.
She says, we've been waiting for you. It's not like there was an appointment for this day at this time that coincidentally walked in on. Well, what a set. It's not a set. This is Ewan McGregor just standing in a bathroom, and then they just painted a thing around him. Lamassu. You see, I think even the mouth movements on these are better than like any of the other digital creatures.
No, I think they're nicely designed.
And I like the texture of the skin. I think it actually
aesthetic
holds up.
I love how Obi-Wan is supposed to play it cool and kind of listen right now, but barely. He's like, okay. He does not really.
Again with this fucking Sifo DS guy.
And yeah, he can't. Okay, also this thing where he's like, isn't he still in... Do they not have like Google? Like, they can't look up like who's on the Jedi Council these days?
Here's a really good question. Does the planet Camino know that other planets don't know that Camino exists anymore? Are they just like weird that no one's stopping by anymore?
You know, clone business has been dead except for that one contract we got to provide an army for the entire galaxy. Thank God that came up.
Imagine being the head of the Camino tourism board, and just being like, I don't know what to tell. We're putting ads out there. No one's coming. We built a new Ramada.
Well, that's a good question, though. Is it that has Camino been deleted from the Jedi archives? Is the Jedi archive like the archive everyone uses?
Definitive.
Or if he goes to like, the Trade Federation archive, and they're like, Camino's right here.
Yeah.
Or like,
Yeah.
And like,
that's a great question.
Does no one just think like, hey, progress is going on the clones. Great. It's been a year. Why don't you give Cypher Diaz a call? Just tell him everything's
Look
good.
at this shot. This is a shot with no digital effects. Look how nice it looks.
It looks great.
Right? It's like real
We're
shit.
on Naboo.
Water.
Looks wonderful.
The light reflects off of it.
This is some estate in Italy or Sardinia or whatever the fuck.
What was I about to say about Camino? Oh, not to diminish my main man, Dexter Jetster. But if he knows about Camino, then fucking other people know
That's
about
what
Camino.
I'm saying.
Word gets around.
Like,
yeah.
oh, Camino? Yeah, it's a planet. It's by the something maze, Rishi Maze.
Mm-hmm.
They make clones. They're cloners. Okay. Hey, Jacasta, have you heard of Camino? No. It doesn't exist. It must not exist. No,
Have you heard of Bank?
This is the sand.
Have you heard of New York?
Yes, it's down the East Coast. They're bankers there. They make bank.
Can you imagine an entire region?
You're missing the sand sequence. But yes.
Smooth. I'm touching your hand. I've seen it so many times. This is the joke I like. Turn up the volume. This is the joke I like. Johnny Williams. We're looking at each other, looking longingly. Sand, it's rough and smooth, not like you. It's just like, I guess she moisturizes a lot. But there are rough parts of the human body. No, 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 no. Judging the judge. We're judging the judge. Swells. Da, na, 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 na. And there's like the record. There's almost a record scratch.
Yeah, no.
No.
Now, here's my question.
Mm-hmm.
We know Padme was up to no good with Pablo the painter or whatever,
we know that.
right?
Yep.
So she's had a deep dickin'. as my friend Pilot often says when you're going on a date, she's like, you better get some deep dickin'.
She's had an order of the prosciutto.
The Braggio. Anyway, so like clearly the implication, because they get going fast. They take one train ride together basically. They arrive in this thing. They haven't even like taken a shower yet, and Anakin's macking on her.
Yeah.
So obviously Anakin is horny as hell, right? He's hanging out with Obi-Wan. He doesn't know when he can jerk off. Like, it's bad news, right? Right?
Yeah.
But I'm wondering if Padme.
This is like a very Griffin tangent for you to be going on. I'm liking this. Go on.
Well, like, so is Padme similarly kind of, like, it's been a while. I really want to jump this guy's bones. He's really cute. Like, do you think that's what the implication of that? Because they really just get to it.
Yeah, I mean,
sand, it's coarse. He grabs her back and then kaboom.
It's the young, dumb, and full of cum stereotype. I mean, at that age, at that level of power, that level of responsibility, you want to have fucking fun. And we talked about so rarely are either of them around people of their own age.
Mm-hmm.
And
species.
And let it be said, they're both very, very beautiful humans.
Very pretty.
Very, very pretty people. But I feel so gross after I get off a plane. I don't think I'd kiss anyone right after getting off a plane.
Hey, man.
I'd at least want to change my shirt.
Here are the clones, by the way.
Here are the clones. They're those fucking clones.
So we saw little Joshua Logan. Is that his name?
Was that the boy? Yeah.
As Boba.
Uh-huh.
And then we see, like, grown-up Django eating
There's a
dinner.
There's 3 different actors.
No, I don't
think that's Tamora Morrison.
I think it's Tamora Morrison.
The meal. He looks a lot younger.
Well, let me look it up. And then there's this crazy shot. Where, like, it's just I can't buy it. It's this big thing that and the movie wants you to sign on for. Which is like someone has just built an army capable of fighting a galactic war, and no one has noticed.
Can I say something?
Yeah,
I don't know how
here they are, Niagara Falls.
Any army is if every member of that army has never left a single room
and
has no life experience
and is the same.
Is the same.
You kind of want diversity, and like
if you're making tough decisions in the battlefield, right? Who you are as a person, your sense of morality, your sense of integrity, these things are important. All these people have just been in a cafeteria with 1,000 other versions of themselves.
Do you think they make out?
Do I think they make out with each other? They have to, right?
Right. What else can you do? Maybe that's just not in there.
So 1 out of every 10 people are homosexual. If you believe in a binary, black and white sexual identity, but you have to imagine there are at least like 1,000 gay.
More than 1,000. Thousands. But unless maybe, because they are genetically modified, maybe they're just modified to like not think about that.
Which I find offensive, if I can say that.
Gross and creepy.
Yeah.
Okay, this scene.
Oh, is it when he tells her that he wants to be Hitler?
Where he tells her he wants to be Hitler. She looks great. She looks phenomenal. He looks fine too, but he looks
suntanny. Admit it. He looks like he has to cover up his suntan.
She's got this headband on. She looks like a little 60s flower child. She's got these like clementine nets on her hair.
She has the best placed birthmarks.
Oh, she is. She's a very, very pretty person, Natalie Portman.
Very pretty person.
She does have like an intense smile. Mm-hmm. Big toothy smile.
I like it.
You like it? Yeah.
I like toothy smiles.
Hasn't been much Natalie Portman in the cinema recently, has there?
No, she's been laying low.
Just her Marvel commitments. Does she have something big?
She's only done 2 of those.
Yeah, no, but like since Black Swan, she hasn't done.
She's doing a.
Well, she's got that Jane Got a Gun thing, which has been in development hell forever. That's probably a future episode of the podcast.
She was a producer on that, so I think that tied her up for a couple of years. She had a baby, so she took some time off to raise her child.
I know.
She's doing a Ruth Bader Ginsburg movie with Gabrielle Heller, which should be phenomenal.
I hope that happens.
I think it's happening. I think they're doing it for HBO. I think they have the commitment and everything.
You're right. It's not called On the Basis of Sex.
Yeah.
But that's an HBO thing, yeah.
Okay. Right, but I think that's definitely happening.
She's in the new Malik movie.
Right.
Which is supposedly coming out this year.
Which was shot like 5 years ago, I say with a mouthful.
And she directed a movie called A Tale of Love and Darkness that is based on the memoir of Amos Oz, who's a great person.
Interesting.
I embrace Amos Oz. He's a long-time Israeli person who's in favor of the Palestinian, in favor of a two-state solution. He's great. He's great. So that's interesting.
We just missed Django riding on a dragon.
Cool. But yeah, since Black Swan, it's just No Strings Attached, Your Highness, and the 2 Thor movies.
Oh, wow.
And I assume Your Highness and No Strings Attached were shot before or around the same time.
Yeah. I mean, Your Highness, I think, was pushed back for a while.
Yeah, she's going to be in the next Terrence Malick movie.
Which was a while ago.
Yeah. Which is about the music scene in Texas. Which that could be crazy.
Right. That's not Knight of Cups. That's Restless.
No. That's a name for it. It's not officially named.
Untitled. Yeah.
And then she's in some movie called Planetarium, which I don't know what this is. And she's in Jane Got a Gun. And supposedly she's going to do a Jackie Kennedy movie, which she's visually suited for. But I don't know. So this is the Obi-Wan Jango. That's a great cut to Boba Fett, like with like a sort of like looking from side to side.
Here's the thing I'll throw out. Not to just keep on harping on these same things, right? But like, if you're composing a shot, once you decide what sort of size shot you want, we're talking especially like dialogue scenes like this, where you're doing shot, reverse shot, whatever.
Yeah.
You find the actors, you block the scene based on how they want to play it, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Then you look around the environment and you find the right frames using the lines of the space around them.
Of course.
Right? So what are the lines, where are the windows, what makes a compelling shot, what's a compelling frame line, you know, all this sort of stuff. You look at the shots where there are actual physical backgrounds for them to frame with, and they look so much better than the shots where they're in front of a green screen that are close-ups.
Yeah.
Because they're framing off of fucking nothing.
Yeah, I know.
So they're just like,
no, you're right.
Let's just put the guy in at quarters to the left.
You're right.
And put a bunch of green over his shoulder, and then later they paint in something. Anytime anyone's standing in front of a window, it looks horrible.
It looks
and like
so bad.
right there when he's just like standing in front of a wall, it's like that's a normal shot. That's a normal shot in a movie. What a shitty room, too.
It's the worst.
All I really asked for is a room.
Even for this movie, I hate this scene from a visual perspective. I hate his room. I hate the lack of character in it.
I hate that they're giving him such a bad deal.
Yeah, it's a shitty deal. He did get a son. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, but okay, if he paid very handsomely, he's got a son. He should have a better place to raise a son.
And this is a dinner scene.
Oh, the magic pair.
Like, what kind of shit dinner is this? One pair has been served. Anakin doesn't have a pair. Is that the whole first course? One of you gets to eat? Is that the custom on Naboo?
And they have these weird wine glasses with like metal stems.
She's wearing like a Cyclops visor on her forehead.
Okay, I like this detail. Watch the physics of the pear going onto the fork, barely touches, and then in her mouth, barely takes a bite.
It's true. I didn't realize. I remember the first one, but I forgot that like she just sort of opens her mouth and like a piece sort of floats into it.
You don't even. It's not even like the piece attaches. Suddenly, there's a bite.
Yeah.
They just like took the eraser icon in Photoshop and removed part of the pear.
Look at what she's wearing.
This is just her loungewear.
I think this is her first date outfit. Cyclops visor, halter top. Like, this is, he's in agony.
I'm in agony.
He's really not. Look at that. You just don't buy it at all. And also, like, does Obi-Wan, is he an idiot? Did he not pick up on, like...
allow this to happen?
Like, you know what, actually, Anakin, why don't you come with me to check out Jango Fett, and we're going to get another Jedi.
Yeah, you know what we should have look over Padme? Literally anyone else.
Anyone else. Because, I have the Force, and also you won't shut up about it anyway, so I know that you are totally in love with this woman.
Yeah. You know what else? Like, if Anakin can feel the disturbance of his mom in pain... Obi-Wan can certainly feel the amount of quote-unquote agony.
Yeah, the boner.
Would just fucking call up Yoda and go, I don't care who it is, send Kit Fisto, send Luminara Unduli.
Yeah, well, don't send Plo Koon, though.
Don't send Plo Koon, because
he's even worse. Yeah. Well, you know what, though? He'll just use her up and throw her away like he does with everyone. This scene is so labored.
Anything is possible, Padme.
It is still mind-blowing to me that Rachel Lang, even at the tender age of 12 or whatever,
live in a real world,
was into this.
This dialogue is actually worse reading it than it is listening.
Yeah, we're reading the dialogue off the subtitles and stuff.
If you follow your thoughts through to conclusion, it will take us to a place we cannot go.
We get it. Jesus.
Regardless of the way we feel about each other. Whoever has responded like that to someone saying, hey,
I'm in agony.
I'm down to fuck. Yeah, I'm in agony. If we follow our thoughts to a logical conclusion, what?
But, like, I feel like
I just can't imagine.
Everyone makes fun of this shit, and they don't understand how bad it is.
No one understands how bad this movie is. We're the only two people who understand how bad this movie is.
Even though everyone thinks this movie is bad, they don't get how bad it is.
They haven't put in the work that we have.
And they really
just imagine 13-year-old Lang sitting there, like tears welling up in her eyes.
They're very pretty.
They're very pretty. And I guess I think, when you're that young, there's something appealing about romance reduced only to pain and drama.
Right, because you don't get chemistry yet when you're that young.
But just the idea of the suffering.
It's what a story. Yeah.
Yeah. And they sure do talk a lot about how much they're suffering. Well, look at that pouty face of his. I
feel like he might have been mostly cast off of that. Like, he does give the camera some good pout.
He gives good pout.
It just doesn't...
He'd be a great silent film actor.
I love this. I just love that. You're absolutely right. I just love this. She's like Lama Sui or whoever, Townway, whatever
That's
her name is, like, okay, bye Obi-Wan. And then in 1 minute he's in, like, I guess he has to make a phone call first, but he's pretty quickly in a fight, like a laser fight. Nobody comes out to check on that. Nobody seems to notice. All right, maybe not, because he does have to do the phone call.
No, but still, I mean, we were just in that building. We saw how many windows they have.
They have a lot of windows, as they should. They live on a crazy storm planet. Just sitting in a room.
See, that chair looks like... It's weird that to see...
It looks very unrelaxing.
No, I was going to say, it looks weird to see Windu and Yoda sitting in the same size chairs.
Yeah, and in the same position.
Because in the Jedi Council, their chairs are different sizes.
Yeah, and different shapes. And as they should be, of course.
And here it's like, you can't tell if Yoda's chair is too big or Windu's chair is too small.
What is this room? It's the like, oh yeah, we'll have a communication room. What should we have? 3 ottomans. But this is the Jedi Council. We're not going to need... No. 3 ottomans. Nothing else. No desk. No nothing.
There's that concept art I told you about where it was designed for Mace Windu's original
office. It's like an IKEA desk.
It was just Wall Street. Come to my office. Council of authorized the creation of a clone army? No.
Crazy.
We didn't authorize the creation of a clone army? No.
He's like, hey, it's a clone army. And they're reacting as if he's like saying nothing of note to them.
Yeah.
They say, bring him to us.
Yeah.
Blind we are at the creation of this clone army, we could not see.
He's screaming.
Right.
He's confused. He's in the rain. He's yelling over. He's like, they said we had a clone army commissioned by the Jedi. They go, no, we have no idea what you're talking about.
Bring him in. I guess we should talk to him.
Okay.
But here, I do talk about this a lot. Where they're like, so... That kind of confirms what we already knew, huh? Where our powers are useless. But let's not tell anyone.
Yeah. Let's never bring it up ever again. And if we tell anyone else
rather
about
than
what's
be
going
like,
on...
you know what? Red alert. Like, clearly there is a vast enemy we should confront.
And if we tell anyone else about what's going on...
Our adversaries will multiply. They say that it's like
word will
exposing
spread.
Your weakness.
Yes.
Yeah. And that's I totally forgot about this. Like, yeah. This is the best shot in the movie. Maybe.
Anakin hanging dong. It looks like he's just taking a leak on the balcony, doesn't it? It looks like he's taking a leak.
I like the idea that she thinks that he's this correctly.
Yeah.
Annoying teenager.
Right.
Who has like an annoying crush on her.
Yeah.
But that he does have this like reflective side that's like in his training. Basically, he has to meditate.
Yep.
He has to be all serious.
You had another nightmare last night. Jedis don't have nightmares. I heard you.
How did she hear him through the fucking marble wall?
You fucking creep.
God.
Those are thick walls.
Those are some thick walls.
Thick ass walls.
Ugh.
Pout.
It's
pout,
crazy.
Pout,
One shot looks fine, and then the reverse shot looks like garbage.
Right, but it's about how much...
Of course, it's about the background and about... Yeah,
that's fine. That's fine. Because everything in front of her, the real light is hitting those objects. Her face in this whole scene right now, it looks like this was just camera blocking.
Yeah, well, she doesn't respond to it.
She's not responding to anything.
He says things like, I had a vision of my mother. I had a nightmare. I could see her. It's a prophecy, whatever the fuck. And she just looks at him like he's saying like scrambled eggs,
right, but it just
two
looks
sausage.
Like, you just go, okay, Natalie, and just look off this way.
You're right.
okay? And just can I just hold on just 1 second, staring straight into the camera.
Okay, this scene is kind of cool.
Django, flying, shooting, sabering, rain.
Because we never seen Saber versus Gunslinger, really.
What an unpleasant week of shooting this must have been for you and McGregor.
Yeah,
where you're just in a green screen studio by yourself and then throwing water on you. You know?
It's very true. I hope he was well compensated.
Like shoots in extreme weather conditions, but you're with other people.
Yeah, of course.
And the weather conditions are extreme because you're in nature and nature is giving that to you.
Yeah.
But to just be like, okay, we're going to put you in a warm studio in Australia and then pour a bunch of water on you.
Dump buckets of rain. You know, would you say that this film series helped or hurt his career? Because Ewan McGregor's career never quite reached what you would have thought, considering the hype of his early, years as an actor.
I would say it was a net zero.
You think so?
Yeah, because I think he was on a really interesting track as sort of an art house leading man.
Yeah.
And a studio character actor.
Yeah.
And then this put him in sort of the category of the big mainstream leading guys.
Kind of.
For studio films.
But he was never.
Well, but that's the thing. He got viewed in that line. And so there was 8 years where he was doing all the wrong things.
Yeah.
Because people had the wrong impression of how to use him. I think he's gotten back on track a little bit in the last couple of years.
Has he?
Yeah. It helped him. It made him. It greatly improved his exposure.
Did it?
Yeah, it did.
Imagine if he hadn't made the Star Wars movies, but Moulin Rouge had come out. You don't think?
But I don't think he would have gotten Moulin Rouge had he not done Star Wars.
It's possible.
I contend.
It's a fair contention.
You have to think they gave him the part in Moulin Rouge.
I just want to do him.
When everyone thought he was going to be a huge movie star because of Star Wars.
So he's in Shallow Grave in 94, and I don't know if you've seen Shallow Grave, but he's great in that.
Yes.
And it was he was noticeable. Oh, who's this handsome young man? Yeah. He bounces around indie British movies, obviously makes Train Spotting, which is his big break.
Double boil.
He makes some stuff like The Pillow Book, and, he has a supporting role in Emma and Brassed Off, these sort of, cute but forgettable.
Right.
But he's a handsome young boy. Yeah. He's in an episode of ER. I don't know if you've seen it.
No.
Really good episode.
Oh, wow.
It's centered on his character.
Okay. What year is that?
97.
Okay.
I think it's season 3? Somewhere.
What does
3
he
or
play?
4. He plays this guy who holds up a convenience store when Nurse Hathaway is in it. And
which one's Nurse Hathaway?
Margulies, yeah.
Okay.
It's a good episode. It's called The Long Way Around. I'm an ER fanatic. Me. Anyway,
he plays a petty criminal.
Yeah. And then there's he shoots someone, she has to stabilize the person.
Okay.
It's like a little drama.
Okay.
It's great. It's great. Great episode.
Yeah.
Then you got Life Less Ordinary.
Oh, right.
Sort of the final Boyle collaboration.
And that one bombs. That's him and Cameron Diaz?
Yeah.
Right. And
it's heavily marketed in America. They think it's going to be
that was going to be a mainstream play.
It goes nowhere.
Right.
Then you got Velvet Goldmine, which I'd say he's terrific in.
Agreed. Robot Rickshaw here on screen.
Yeah, God. And then you have Little Voice, where he does that too many times, where he just plays the nice boy.
But David, let's point out, as we know from behind the scenes featurettes, he gets cast in Star Wars 97.
Yeah. So it's around them. No, I know what you're saying.
So, by the time he's on ER, he's probably already
getting ready.
Gotten the part in Star Wars, you know? By 98, he's filming it. By 99, it's out. So there's 96 is the end of first era Ewan McGregor. A lot of these parts he's getting from that point on are people hiring him because they think they're going to get the post Phantom Menace boost. Watto. Look at Watto. God, what a sad husk of a man he's become. He misses them so much. It's
his exhibit scene.
He misses his slaves. And his beard looks good.
There's some dramatic pause. It's actually and his little fixes the probe droid for him.
Were you the one who told me this, or did I look this up? That they wanted him to have the hat in the first movie, but they couldn't get it right in time.
I don't think I knew that. I like his jaunty little hat.
Yeah, so that was the hat was part of the design for the first movie, but it was too complicated. The effects weren't there for the hat.
No, but it's good because then it's what's different about it. He got a hat.
He's got a little hat.
He doesn't fucking know Shmi's name.
Yeah,
She's not a minor no more.
No more. I sold her years ago.
His nose is such a little pee-pee. Look at the way his nose moves. It's like a little pee-pee.
It moves great.
It moves great. The physics on the nose are great. And the beard is great. God, he's such a good character actor.
She looks like a nun. She looks 50 years old. Anyway, back to Ewan McGregor. So he's in Eye of the Beholder.
Right.
With Ashley Judd, I believe.
Right.
That's, in that sort of like crazy, weird subgenre of Ashley Judd sex crime movies. There's like 4 of them, in 4 years.
What year is it?
Nah, it's 99.
So that's and I think that was a Fox movie. So that's definitely them being like, we got this guy. He's in Phantom Menace. That's going to be huge. Let's put him in other movies.
This was an official selection at the Venice Film Festival. That's
really?
Crazy.
Who directed it?
Stefan Elliott. Someone I've never heard of. Anyway, it doesn't matter. And then he's in Nora, which he plays James Joyce. That got nowhere. And then Moulin Rouge, which you feel like should be the start of his.
Yes.
That's he's such a sweetheart in it. It's such a big performance. But it's very winning.
Definitely a part he got because he was in Phantom Menace. I would contend.
That's fine.
In terms of major studio financing, and that was Fox as well.
I mean, I really like him in Black Hawk Down.
He's very good in Black Hawk Down.
I think he's great.
I'm not a huge fan of Black Hawk Down. I think he's really good in it.
I am a huge fan of Black Hawk Down, and I also think
I have a hard time with war movies in general.
Love war movies.
And with that much combat, I think it's an exquisitely made film.
So good.
I have a hard time engaging with that much combat.
I think that movie...
That is my own failing, not the failing.
No, it's fine. It's fine. Yeah. I mean, people criticize that movie for dehumanizing its villains, but I think that's the point of the movie, is that these soldiers have absolutely no concept of the world they're engaging in. I mean, that's
yes,
I do. I mean, I'm a staunch defender of that movie. Anyway, Black Hawk Down, Attack of the Clones, Down with Love. He's so fabulous in Down with Love, and it's such a great movie.
Love it.
And so you feel like he should be really rising to the cream of the crop,
but none of these movies do very.
They don't do well. This is the problem. Moulin Rouge doesn't even do that well.
No, it was.
It's more of a critical hit and then a DVD lifer. It did okay in the box office.
It did okay.
Like 60 million, something like that.
50. Soundtrack sales were good. It came out in May.
It gets a lot of Oscar nominations,
but that was 7 months later. That sort of rebounded its opinion.
Yep. It's all true. And then he's got, he keeps making these really weird.
Down with Love's a big bomb. Is notably
Down with Love's a huge bomb.
Yeah.
He keeps
Down with Love tying into next week. Down with Love. The failure of Down with Love leads to the immediate shutdown of director Peyton Reed's Fantastic Four.
Is that right? It was. For some reason I thought he jumped from Fantastic Four to Down with Love. Maybe I'm wrong.
No, he had Down with Love
in the can. Right.
Fox had Fantastic Four. He pitched on Fantastic Four. They were high on Down with Love. They thought it was going to be a big hit.
They did.
Down with Love came out in May. It was a big summer release.
Yep.
Renee Zellweger was at her peak.
Her quote-unquote peak.
I'm getting over a cold. And he had that ready to go, and the Down with Love bomb, they kicked him off of it, and 2 years later, the Tim Story movie came out.
Yep.
Peyton Reed's Fantastic Four was going to be set in the 60s.
Yes, well, we're going to talk about this next week. Yes.
Anyway, what comes after that?
I just want to point out, mixing this in, he mixes in these British indie movies like Rogue Trader and Nora. He makes this movie Young Adam, which I think is a decent, little, and he's got Big Fish. Another one that, I used to be a real Oscar watcher.
Yeah.
That was of the 3 movies that year, everyone at the start was like, this will be huge.
Yeah.
This is going to get a zillion Oscar nominations. This is going to be Tim Burton's big break.
Yes.
As a sort of Academy acclaimed type, And Big Fish.
I love that movie.
I like that movie. I think it's underrated.
That film. I saw that movie maybe 7 times in theaters.
That's crazy. That's insanity.
It's the only movie, David. It is the only movie that makes me cry every time I watch it.
Well, the ending is the best part.
But the way it builds, it hits everything I care about. I'm a big defender of Tim Burton. I think that's a big turning point in his career. I feel like if that movie
he made Alice in Wonderland.
Well, it's a disaster.
Oh God, it's so bad.
I think if that movie specifically had landed the way people like you expected it would,
right, he would have kept making those kinds of movies. You think? Yeah, that's fair.
And I think the last 7 years of Tim Burton have been very cynical and regressive. Yeah. Because he kind of is I don't know, I guess you want me to do this. I also love Big Eyes.
I didn't love Big Eyes, but it was okay. The problem, I have a lot of thoughts on Big Eyes.
I think people
Big Eyes weird.
Get angry at Tim Burton for quote unquote doing the same thing all the time, but they also don't go see his movies where he does things that are different.
Big Eyes was never going to do well.
Agreed.
Big Fish could have done well.
Yes.
It's weird that he made 2 big movies.
Right.
He also made Big.
Alice in Wonderland made
I know, made $1 billion
worldwide.
Oh God, that movie is. I don't remember anything about it.
Big Eyes made $20 million worldwide. And everyone went to see Alice in Wonderland when, fucking Tim Burton does the same thing over and over again. And he does something different and they don't go see it.
Yeah, I don't think Big Eyes is that good, though. It's so broad.
I like that it's broad. I like that it's weird and
It's
like
kinda
melodramatic.
I liked
and
it okay.
campy.
I liked it okay.
I liked it a lot.
It has this problem that I actually think Christoph Waltz isn't bad in it at all, but it is this thing of like where she's like, I guess I'll marry you, and you just are like, it's Christoph Waltz. It's very odd, like he's doing the same accent. You don't want to marry that guy.
It. It's like because he's like combining all his like filmic influences. It's you know, it's
we
a
haven't talked
domestic
about this
drama
movie for like 15 minutes.
but it's like as into like Mario Bava, like you know, fucking like high, like contrast, crazy, over the top horror movies.
But then it kind of peters out. The courtroom scene's sort of fun.
I love it.
It's good, but like the movie is so staked on that climax.
Yeah.
And you know, it's here's Joel Edgerton. I need to see The Gift.
I love him. So you haven't seen The Gift yet?
No, I need to see it.
I loved it until the last 5 minutes.
Well, this is what I keep hearing. People are wildly all over the place on the ending. Was it all a dream?
No.
Okay.
It was all a nightmare. No, I still like it.
Yeah.
I think it's a very good first film. I think he is building to something really interesting, and the ending undercuts that.
Well, we should talk about it, but I got to see it.
Have you seen Shaun the Sheep movie?
No, I don't want to.
I love it so much, David.
Yeah, but you like the Aardman stuff, and I don't actually really like the Aardman stuff.
What?
Yeah.
What? Do you know?
I know.
That Shaun the Sheep is a silent film?
That's cool.
That is zero lines of dialogue?
I don't know anything about it. That's cool. I like that.
David is zero dialogue.
That's great.
Do you know?
Does it have like noises?
Does it have intertitles?
Does it have like noises?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They make sounds.
Right.
And the humans like mutter. They're like, I don't know.
How long is it?
It's like a brisk 75 minutes.
That's that I like.
It's like a cute running time. It's like an adorable running time.
Oh, yeah. Is it claymation?
It's claymation. It's all claymation.
That shit takes forever. I mean, that's another reason it's short. Yeah.
But it's a very simple story. It's very sweet. It's very funny. And it's cinematically, because it's entirely visual, and there's some, you know, it's a simple story, which I think is to its credit.
Yeah.
But it actually has some complex emotional ideas, and it does a lot of very progressive things very, very quietly.
Okay.
And it's all done with a simplicity and grace through the dramatics of movement.
There's so many movies I need to see. All right, I'll see Shaun.
It's the best movie ever made.
It's not, but okay.
You know what's the number one thing I hate about though?
What?
The title is infuriating.
The Shaun the Sheep movie?
No, because technically it's just called Shaun the Sheep movie. It's missing a the.
Yeah, that's just grammatically incorrect. Look at this thing where it's silhouettes. It's a weird choice.
It's a weird choice. It could either be the Shaun the Sheep movie, or it could be Shaun the Sheep : the movie.
Yeah, not those.
It's Shaun the Sheep movie.
I just want to point out that in between Big Fish and Star Wars Episode 3, which I can't believe I never noticed before, there's only 2 animated films, Robots and Valiant.
Okay.
In which he's the lead both times.
Yes.
Do you think those 2 movies were annoyed at each other? They were like, wait, Ewan McGregor is your lead too? Wait a second. He's our lead. Like, oh, come on.
Can I investigate
both out in 2005.
Something interesting here? So he gets Phantom Menace, right?
Sure.
In like 97.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay, Life Less Ordinary was released by Fox.
Okay.
Who at that point knows that he's playing Obi-Wan Kenobi.
I get you.
Right?
I get you.
Eye of the Beholder was... I think it was Fox.
Not noted.
Gonna have to look this one up.
Well, let's just
okay. Well,
silence is golden.
I'll look that one up. But Moulin Rouge is definitely Fox.
I think Black Hawk
Down is Sony.
Oh, it's Sony. Okay.
Obviously, Attack of the Clones is Fox. Down with Love is Fox. Big Fish is Sony. robots is Fox.
Yeah.
And the Revenge of the Sith. So in the time between, Fox like really doubles down on him.
That's true. They really try to make him happen.
A guy. And almost all of those roles are like, even something he's good in, like Black Hawk Down, which wasn't.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Either like the movies don't work,
or he's just not the thing you remember from it.
Or it's not the right fit for him.
Wait, who?
The Island.
The Island is DreamWorks, I believe.
Yes.
Because it was Bay leaving the Bruckheimer.
Yes.
It's the one Bruckheimer didn't produce. And, of course, Bruckheimer always makes fun of the fact that it's the only Michael Bay movie that didn't make any money.
Right.
But it's a good movie.
Oh, I do not like that movie.
I mean, I don't like it either, but it's better than, like, a lot of Bay Bruckheimer movies. It's at least trying to do something. That movie's fascinating. I'd like to watch it again because it is. All right, go ahead.
No, what do you find fascinating about it?
The fact that it's like completely underwritten by advertising and endorsements, and that's very prominent in the first half of the movie.
Yeah,
and no, in the whole movie. Don't take it.
Sure.
And like, I don't know, something. It says something about our society. I don't know. I haven't seen it since I saw it in theaters.
I remember,
and then you've got Ewan McGregor doing a dual performance, which is just sort of hilarious.
I remember thinking the first performance is terrible and the second one's great.
I don't remember the first one. I remember the second one. I remember. Yeah, I know what you mean. The first one's a blank slate.
Yeah, the lead role, I think he's really bad, actually, and the second character, I think he's really funny. That movie was very expensive. Yep. Michael Bay had not had a flop until that point. Yep. And when the movie bombed really hard, I remember DreamWorks saying, we bet on the stars of tomorrow instead of the stars of today. And their point was Scarlett Johansson and McGregor, we all agree they're going to be big movie stars, but they're not big movie stars yet. And Scarlett Johansson, she was, I think, 22 at the time they made that.
And is now a big star. And
right. But she was coming right off Lost in Translation. At that point, she wasn't a big, like, mainstream matinee,
of course,
fucking action star, and now she is.
Yep.
Much to everyone's surprise. For a while there, it looked like that wasn't what she was going to become, and she has. Between the Marvel films and Lucy, she's become both.
She's the best because she's an action star and she's like the indie queen of our generation, and I love Scarlett Johansson.
Me too. But I think that movie's an interesting nail in the coffin for Ewan McGregor because they said Star tomorrow. He at that point is like 12 years older than Scarlett Johansson.
The nail in the coffin.
He had been in 3 Star Wars movies. If it was going to happen in that kind of way, it would have happened by then. And I think it was conclusively like, this isn't the kind of film that he does well in.
Nope.
He doesn't do his best work in this movie. People don't like him in these types of movies. Get him back in small shit. There's a quote that I remember someone said, it was some review of Beginners, where they said, Ewan McGregor is one of the best leading men alive as long as your movie costs less than $10 million.
Yeah. Wait, this is the schmeck.
Oh gosh, that's actually upsetting imagery.
It's really kind of upsetting.
For a movie that's so artificial.
It's like you
don't need to show her looking.
Yeah, and the fact that she's strapped to this thing and is obviously like kind of a sex slave or something.
No, not or something. She's a sex. What else would they be doing?
I don't know.
They're just beating her for sport.
But anyway,
the implication is clearly that she's a sex slave and it's bestiality.
I hate this scene.
They're Tusken Raiders.
Yeah, the Tusken Raiders are pretty problematic. To use a problematic term. Anyway, after the island, as we were saying, it's over.
It's over.
He makes Stay, indie movie, makes no money. Remember
for Fox. That was a big Oscar hope. That was like a hot
movie
screenplay.
Is so fucking bad.
Gosling was like the up and comer guy, and that was a Fox.
It has the most annoying twist.
They thought that was going to be a big Oscar.
Yeah, well, it wasn't.
So hard.
He's in Alex Rider as Alex Rider's dad, but that movie went nowhere.
Yeah.
That's a very popular series of books in Britain.
I'm aware. My sister had a big crush on Alex Rider.
Miss Potter, he has this string of playing castrated men opposite in like lady biopics. Miss Potter, he's in Cassandra's Dream, which is an interesting, weird little movie.
I still have never seen it. I more and more read a lot of people defending that.
It's not bad.
Yeah.
I don't really get why you defend it, except that it's better than Match Point and on similar lines.
It also was, if I'm not mistaken, Woody Allen's single least successful movie of all time.
Was it even less successful than You Will Meet a Tall Dark Stranger?
Oh, no question. It's undoubtedly the least successful in the last 20 years.
That's crazy.
I can't remember if like one of the ones from the late 80s did less than it.
Yeah, it made less than $1 million in the United States. That's crazy.
Right.
He's in a movie called Incendiary, which I only know... Or is it Deception? He's in multiple movies with this show.
The Hugh Jackman one.
Deception.
Okay, because Deception I know was
It has like a lot of hot sex.
Yeah, Hugh Jackman really liked that script for some reason, and forced Fox to make it as part of his payment for X-Men 3. Or
why?
There was some weird back.
No, I get you. God, what a weird thing to spend your capital on. All right.
What's he doing? What's up with his career? Okay, now we disagree on this. I like him a lot, and I love you, Philip Morris. You hate that performance, right?
No, I don't hate that performance.
Joe Reed hates that performance.
Yeah, I don't. That movie's okay.
I like that movie. I think
this is the thing. He starts making these small movies. He's in. All right, fine. He's the villain of Angels and Demons, but that's. I mean, no one watched that movie. And Who Stare at Goats. It's a lot of movies where he's like the third lead. Amelia, where he plays Gore Vidal. No, Gore Vidal's dad.
He plays Gene Vidal.
Yeah, you see Gore Vidal. Have you seen Amelia? It's terrible.
No, I haven't seen it.
And Gore Vidal is like a kid, but even then they're like, let's make sure everyone knows this kid is super gay. Like it's really annoying.
That Gore always getting in arguments.
It really is that. So I feel like Amelia is the final
castrated
gasp of that.
Yeah.
And then after that,
do you know, quick sidebar, that Gore Vidal is my mother's godfather.
No.
It was like a status move for like he was like a casual like social.
And they were like, let's have Gore Vidal.
Yeah, and like of course 80 different people chose that. So like my mother never, I think, saw him ever.
Yeah.
But like my grandmother would always brag like, well, Gore Vidal is her godfather. He's at like 80 guys.
Look at R4.
R4 sucks. Okay, what comes after Amelia?
Well, then I feel like he starts doing more like, okay, I want to make movies I want to make. So it's like
Nanny McPhee Returns.
Not Nanny McPhee Returns. That must have just been a favor. Because all the English actors like hang out, I think.
Emma Thompson, she wrote that. That's her passion.
And it's like if you're not in Harry Potter, you were in Star Wars, and they all sort of get together.
Yeah.
So you got the Ghostwriter, Beginners.
She's very good in actually.
Yeah, Beginners, which she's good in.
Yeah.
Salmon Fishing in the Emin, which
get on my face.
Haywire, which he is the final villain in, which is a really strange choice.
But I liked him a lot in that. I find that movie incomprehensible.
I love that movie.
I could not follow what was going on.
It's hard to follow that one.
Yeah, I found it impossible to
It's not easy to follow.
I'm not usually that confused at a movie, and I love Soderbergh. I don't dislike it. I don't like it. I just literally could not understand what was happening on a moment-to-moment basis. But I thought he was good in it.
Yeah.
The Impossible kind of sucks, right?
Impossible's horrible.
I haven't seen it. I didn't want to see it because I knew it would make me angry.
Jack the Giant Slayer I have not seen.
Do you know who that movie doesn't need to be about?
Jack?
No, I'm sorry. The Impossible. I was the second.
Oh, white people. Yeah, no, I know.
Yeah, Jack the Giant Slayer. Why was he in that? I heard he was fun in that. Though.
Is he? What is he?
He plays like the arrogant, like Errol Flynn type.
I don't think that anyone saw that movie or that it exists.
But I remember you saying, I don't think that movie. If you walked into the theater and bought a ticket for that, you'd win the contest. They'd go, you got us. We didn't make the whole movie. It's just
so weird when this happens, when Bryan Singer is like, you know what? Give me $200 million. I'm going to make a Jack and the Beanstalk movie. And they're like, sure, that'll hit. That's a good idea. Like, why isn't there a guy? And whatever.
Crazier element to that movie, he really wanted to direct First Class, but he had Jack the Giant Slayer in development. Yeah. And Warner Brothers would not let him out of his contract. They said, fuck no, you're not going and making X-Men. We need you to make Jack the Giant Slayer. We're not letting Fox take away our business. We need Jack the Giant Slayer.
They just could have let it die.
They could have just saved money and not made the movie.
Whatever. August Osage County. Which Son of a Gun, which I never saw. Mordecai.
Terrible movie. Is it Mordecai?
We haven't done a Mordecai episode because I haven't seen it yet. Because you know what, like I'm always a little resistant to the things that Twitter hops on, and this year it's been Mordecai and then Minions. These movies where like they don't even know what the movie is or if it's bad, but they just like see trailers. I mean, Mordecai's obviously bad. Yeah, I think Mordecai is. You're just laughing at Mordecai right now.
He's a part-time bro. He's got a mustache.
I don't. I just don't know what anyone was thinking with this one.
He's such a cat, David. Classic Mordecai.
There he is. There's Ewan McGregor at the premiere wearing like a. It really isn't.
I know. I think you and I are the same way. Just like that.
Sorry,
Another picture of Mordecai.
IMDb's screen cap of the trailer, is Johnny Depp making the most horrendous face.
He's on the hood of a car.
This is the thing. Okay, Ewan McGregor made a movie this year called Last Days in the Desert, in which he plays Jesus.
What?
This movie has not been released because no one has picked it up.
It was at Sundance?
It was at Sundance, and it got perfectly good respect. You know, Rodrigo Garcia, who's a really good director.
Yeah. Jesus Christ.
And no one's talking about it. No one, the managing editor of The Atlantic, who writes about religion, she doesn't write about.
By the way, this is the scene where Anakin tells Padme that he killed all.
This scene is fucking garbage. This set is terrific, though. And she was like, why is this movie not coming out?
Yeah.
And I didn't have an answer for her except, like, I mean, no one picked it up at Sundance, and sometimes that happens. And then, like, it is the weird Sundance thing where the longer you get, the less hot your movie looks, even if it's good. So I don't know if the movie's good or bad, but it is kind of crazy that Ewan McGregor made a movie in which he plays Jesus, and no one's even fucking releasing it.
Sure.
You'd think it would get a little bit of attention.
Although I'll say that movie, Infinitely Polar Bear, I think came out 2 years after the worst title in the world.
The worst title
came out like 2 years after Sundance, because the same thing happened where no one bought it there. It got cold, and then like a year later,
someone finally
got it for so cheap.
Yeah, you get it for nothing.
Right. Clegg Lars, what a good performance.
No.
Great performance.
No. I know, but you just would not stop talking about it, and I just had to give it up.
Look at his missing leg.
All right, so we have to get back to this movie.
Okay.
So we've been talking not about this movie for a long time, I think, because this movie just becomes so unconscionably boring. Yeah.
Oh, this is the thing. Watch, I was going to tie everything in back together, okay? Mordecai. This is what I was going to say. We're saying film Twitter likes to pick these things, right? That they make
not film Twitter.
Weird Twitter.
Comedy Twitter and weird Twitter. Film Twitter is not like
Twitter
that.
Film Twitter is going crazy about Jeff Wells and the Bear.
And Carol
is going crazy about Ehrlich loving Carol.
Yeah, Ehrlich loving Carol has become like the recurring joke of this month on Film Twitter.
Film Twitter is like backlash to the backlash to the backlash to Force Friday think pieces.
I don't care about that. That's like nerd Twitter. That's like Devin Faraci, who interacts with Film Twitter.
What's his name? The
German Lucier.
Wrote for IO9.
I know. I read his.
Who's got a BB-8? Who doesn't have a BB-8?
The problem with that piece, which I read, is it just sort of, it's direct.
I just realized we can't talk about any of this.
Why not? Why? Is someone going to be on the podcast? What are you laughing about? Oh, right, because of the fucking prequel shit. Because our rules. Cut that out, Ben. Anyway, let's talk about your father's financial. Look, just to say, the problem with German Lucier's piece, which we don't need to talk about in detail,
which was about buying some nondescript toys.
Yeah, he's like, the piece is like, hey, I got to Toys R Us, I waited in line, and then there were no toys on the shelf.
Yeah,
it's like there's not enough to it, you know.
It's a dull piece.
Because it's mostly you're just like, okay, well, it sounds like your Toys R Us is no good. I don't know.
Get a better TRU, bro.
Yeah, like who cares?
He did have the amazing sentence: "The pops were decimated." He very dramatically described.
This is the other problem.
Yeah.
I'm keeping some tabs on that movie that we can't talk about.
Sure.
But, like, I don't know every single fucking character's name, and I'm not paying as much attention to the merchandise and shit.
Yeah.
So, like, yeah, a lot of that went over.
Okay, so let's not talk about that anymore.
Yeah, that's
Film Tour second. Mordecai. This is what I was going to say, okay?
I hate the comedy Twitter
You
shit.
and I think, are on a very similar page where we don't like to fucking make jokes about things like that.
Yeah.
Meme them if we haven't seen them.
Right. Agreed.
You got to do the fucking time.
Yeah, of course.
You know?
What's the joke? You're just making jokes about advertising.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
And it's like, bad movies have been advertised well. Good movies have been advertised poorly.
Yeah, I mean,
and
obviously, look, if you're going to watch a Mordecai commercial, crack a joke or two, I get it. The thing is asking for it. I get it.
You're allowed to crack a joke or two.
And Minions was, like, everywhere, and I get that it gets annoying, and I get that the internet is obsessed with Minions.
Like 6 months bits and, like, fucking extended act.
My problem with the Minions thing, can I say, really, I hate the Minions
Me
thing.
too.
Because the Minions thing is just the Shrek thing.
Yeah.
It's the exact same thing, which is Shrek. With Shrek, it was funny.
Yeah.
Because it was a movie that wasn't out anymore.
Right.
And it was just especially strange to imagine this subculture of Shrek people, right?
Yes.
Minions is out. Like, who cares?
Well,
it's not even surprising that kids and weirdos in America like Minions. It's like, it's a dominant franchise.
Well, that's my problem with it, is that, like, at the time that all these weird Twitter kids are going like, oh, Minions, I'm liking Minions ironically.
The thing makes like $300 million.
Right. Yeah. Shrek is like
an incredibly successful movie.
Shrek's like a decade dormant franchise.
Yeah, Shrek is reduced to like touring musicals of
Right.
you know, like Shrek's so weird.
I'll tell you that this is what I like about the Shrek bit, which we have to say our friend Pilot was way ahead of the curve on.
Oh yeah, Pilot in her, like, as she does all the time.
Yeah,
she's joking about something, and you're like, it is funny that she's right, and then the rest of the internet catches up to it.
But Pilot was owning that Shrek game.
Oh yeah.
Shrek. The funny thing about Shrek, the funny thing about the Shrek thing for me is that Shrek is such a fucking ugly character.
Yeah, it's true.
Like the whole point of the first film is this guy's unappealing,
of course,
and then like slowly he comes around.
All right, I can't believe we're not talking about this movie. This is crazy.
Across the 17 Shrek movies and Christmas specials and whatever, they neutered the character where they made him look cute, and they tried to pretend like he was always
really
likable.
The protagonist of the other movies in the same. Anyway,
right, but they like had Shrek doing cute little dances, but he's still a disgusting looking guy. So the idea of like merchandising Shrek and putting him in juice boxes and stuff like that is much funnier to me than like Minions, where Minions look like serial characters.
Yeah, they're designed.
They look like they were designed to sell shit. You know,
or Shrek
like
was
Shrek dolls are
character.
funny.
Yeah. Especially because he wears like a burlap shirt.
But my point was, we don't do shit like that. If we're gonna fucking make fun of Attack of the Clones, we're gonna watch Attack of the Clones.
All right. Well, we should be.
So now let's watch the
Dooku scene.
Okay, so he's in the fort. Oh god, look at Christopher Lee, just fucking slicing that delicious ham.
Yeah.
This is like real acting.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Ewan McGregor is on like a lazy suit. I mean, and there's PAs who are slowly turning it underneath his feet.
The visuals of this prison are the worst.
It's terrible. He's got laser handcuffs.
So here's the thing that I keep bringing up in this series. He's about to just reveal the actual truth. He's not obfuscating. What if I told you that the Republic was under the control of a Dark Lord of the Sith?
Hypothetically, what if I told you that?
And he's like, no, the Jedi be aware of it. And he's like, yeah, no, they're not, because of the dark side. He's right.
Yeah, no, we thought
everything he's saying is true. Senators are now under his influence. Darth Sidious, he names the fucking guy. He's basically saying to Obi-Wan, I've gone double agent.
Yeah.
I'm working for this guy.
You're talking to Benedict Arnold right now.
And this is what the situation is.
You must join me.
And so his pitch is, join me and we'll destroy the Sith.
He's like, the Jedis can't do it.
So you kind of have to cross over.
The enemy of my enemy is my friend. Right?
This is never answered. Is he lying just at the end when he's like, so join me and we'll destroy them? Or is he genuinely like, look, I'm not really a Sith. I'm more Count Dooku.
No idea. And
never made clear.
That's the first time we have met that character.
No, we've seen him once before. You talked over the scene, but he does.
Oh, when they're having the
trade
meeting
people.
With
Yeah.
But we don't really have a frame of reference. We don't have context for like,
this is Jar Jar. He just called them Dello Felagates.
I forgot how late this happens. Fucking
Nisa proposed that the Senate give immediately.
Gesticulating way too much. Who would be persuaded by this?
Yes,
this does feel like the way they cut into this scene. It feels like it's like this is hour 17 of a filibuster. Can you imagine having to? And these people are going, no way, no way. All the arm acting in this scene is horrendous. Everyone is gesticulating in a way that shows if they're voting yes or no.
And then, oh my god, I love democracy.
McDermott's so good.
Yeah, he's great.
I like this makeup work on him too. I like it's kind of old Hammer horror, like too ghastly. The wrinkles are too.
He's
defined.
very Peter Cushing.
Yeah,
he'd be great in a Star Wars
my
movie.
god.
Anyway,
it feels like that. But Christopher Lee, it feels like that's what they're getting at. Like he was obviously bosom buddies with
of course.
Cushing, and it's like
Lee and Cushing.
This is the kind of actor that works well in this type of Phantom Menace movie.
I swear to God, he's like, Great. So you've granted me emergency powers. Number 1, Grand Army of the Republic. Guess what? Yoda, Noah, and Mace Windu are hanging out at their window.
There's still like an hour left in this movie, right? Because we haven't...
I don't think it's an hour.
The droid factory yet. There's 45 minutes at least.
I think it's about 45 minutes. I think we're going to be done... When did we start? Around 4:15?
Yeah, because you couldn't find your recorder.
I couldn't find my tape recorder. So we're going to be done at around 6:30.
Okay.
So yeah.
Jeez, what an awful movie.
So here we are on Geonosis.
Dumb.
Looks basically like the pre-render of a Star Wars Episode 1 racer.
So this is like the orange planet. This is like the burnt sienna planet.
It's an interesting move because it's not too far off Tatooine.
No, I guess this is like the canyon planet.
Yeah, it's got
Tatooine's like sand.
It's
and
kind of like Yellowstone.
Yeah.
There's a lot of like geysers and.
I'm not interested in getting a war here. Let me throw on my shawl. This is my no war shawl.
Have they had sex yet?
You know what? I was just about to say their body language. They feel more relaxed.
Yeah, they do.
With each other, and even they're being tense.
Just watch.
Right, they're just here.
Well, of course, they have to just
see. I like this dynamic of them not liking each other. It's funny because we, as racists, would assume that all robots are friends.
Well. Why is 3PO on their ship? Why didn't we watch closer?
It's amazing how we failed to.
Where they land and they're just like, here's a door.
Oh, smoke's coming from here. Let's hit this. Oh, that opens the door. He touches his hand to one part of it. It's not a handle. He just touches his hand to one part of it, and then a lever goes, cracks open. Oh, this looks like a good pathway to enter. And now C-3PO and R2-D2 are arguing about whether or not
they should go help them, I guess. Which really is not a debate. The answer is no. They don't want you to go help them.
Yeah.
And R2 and C-3PO provide no help.
They create a lot of trouble.
Yeah. I guess R2 turns off the droid factory.
Eventually.
Like after a while.
Yeah. R2 is
but
such
not before vindictively knocking 3PO into the droid factory.
But do you think R2 is like...
He's like an agent of chaos.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
He just wants crazy things to happen.
I want to put forward a fan theory on this movie that maybe R2-D2 is the Joker of fucking Attack of Clones because he just wants to see the world burn.
Yeah, okay. That's a thing, right? There's a fan theory and people are mad about it.
Everything's dumb.
I know.
David, everything is dumb.
But what's the fan theory?
The Joker's the hero.
That doesn't make any sense, though.
No, it doesn't make any sense. None of those theories make any sense. Right. Here's the thing: if a movie does not propose something, then it doesn't happen in that movie.
Like that movie also is very labored in making Batman's like philosophical struggle with the Joker.
Yep.
Like apparent. Like the end scene is him being like, "Ha! I was right. There is humanity left in these people."
Yes, and also it spends a lot of time arguing over like the idea that like things don't exist in shades of black and white.
Right,
like no one can entirely be a hero. They have to be the hero they deserve, not the hero they need. Like all this shit, you know?
Yeah.
Or the other way around, whatever the fuck it is. The point is, like, there's no reading of that movie where it's like, what if he was the good guy all along? Because it's like, no, like everyone's got good points and bad points, but at the end of the day, the Batman stands for the right thing.
Right. The Joker like kills people in that movie, like a lot.
Yeah, and here's the thing.
He like blows up a hospital.
Killing people sucks.
Yeah, it's really bad news.
Killing people is like a bad deal. Machines making machines? Oh, how perverse. Oh, R2, go, calm down. Look. I almost fell. Oh, my God. Oh, no. Oh, fuck you. Fuck you, R2. Okay, here's a serious question.
Okay.
I hate this machine, by the way. This one that
catches him makes no sense. What is it?
Flying bed?
Yeah, it's so stupid.
It's a flying mattress. It's like the bed from Bedknobs and Broomsticks.
Love that movie.
Serious question. Do you think that R2-D2 is capable of flying at all times like he is here? Or do you think it's like a Street Fighter special move thing where he has to wait for a special move power bar to go up, and that's why the rest of the time he's like literally the slowest robot in the world.
I think that's correct because it's like he can do that, and then he needs to like go back to the shop, get the fuel put back in those jets or whatever.
Padme's in a cereal bowl.
Yeah, Padme's in a pestle.
We have to believe that he only has a limited resource because otherwise it's a real dick move to make everyone wait for you when you could be flying the whole time.
He absolutely
look at he's soaring though. C3PO. This section of the movie is just straight up a cartoon.
Yeah. No, it's all
cartoon business. It's a tune. Okay, here's a very serious question.
Okay.
Eddie Valiant, Private Eye. Would he like Attack of the Clones?
Eddie Valiant, Private Eye.
Yeah.
No, because of the Toontown thing? Is that your joke?
Is it too much of a tune?
But you just sort of eventually come to like tunes.
Okay, but let's say pre-Roger Rabbit case Eddie Valiant.
Yeah.
This movie technically designates itself as a live-action film. Do you think Eddie Valiant would watch it and go, it's a tune?
Yeah, no.
Do you
because
think
it's got people in it. I think he would think that it was weird and perverse, like Who Framed Roger Rabbit.
He would think that too much, like... Would he think it was like interracial marriage?
Well, I don't know. Eddie Valiant's views on these things are never fully clear, but
it's
on like But you kind of make me want to watch that movie again.
I watched it like 2 nights ago.
One thing I love about the movie. I mean, there's so many things that are great about it.
Yeah.
But one thing I love is I hate this scene.
I hate that.
Is Hoskins' performance?
Oh, Hoskins is so good. I hate that weird zoom in because it's totally out of line with the rest of the language Lucas is using in the film, which is like very stoic, steady shots and little to no camera movement. Mm-hmm. And then there's that one shot of Padme looking up, seeing the magma coming down, and then the camera like does a quick zoom out of like a fucking Russ Myers movie.
Do you think that this movie would be helped if it was more like a Russ Meyer movie, or not even out of like a William K. Like if it just was a little cheesier?
Yeah, of course.
You
mean if it was fun?
But this is
if it was fun to watch,
it's a fine line because it's an expensive movie, with a lot of complicated visuals, and like sometimes people don't like it when those kinds of movies are like excessively tongue-in-cheek, right? Like Sky Captain. Not that Sky Captain was excessively expensive, but like one problem with that movie is that it never can be taken seriously because it doesn't really want to be.
Yes. I think excessively tongue-in-cheek is not always a path for success, but I do like my movies to be self-aware. They don't have to be like self-critical or metatextual.
Mm-hmm.
But especially with big movies like this, I think they should be aware of what they are. And you can tell when movies kind of like have this knowing sort of like, don't worry, we got you. We know how you're watching this.
Yeah. In
this movie, it feels like there's a disconnect between what the movie thinks it is and how we view the movie. It's like an Emperor's New Clothes thing.
Absolutely true. Here's a great scene to underline that thing you're just exactly talking about.
I'm dying a little bit every day since you came back to my life. I'll read Padme, you read Anakin.
Okay. What are you talking about? Long pause.
I love you.
Here we go.
This is the scene I like.
You love me? I thought we had decided not to fall in love.
Learn to read.
Yeah, seriously, or flub that. That we would be forced to live a lie. That it would destroy our lives.
My favorite line in the whole film. I think our lives are about to be destroyed anyway. But I'm Chang.
Cut to no laughter from Anakin.
Anakin dead serious. But look. I mean, Corbin's giving good close up here. Tears in her eyes. You feel there's a palpable emotion. I like this shot.
It's
them kissing.
It's fine.
It's fine.
I think that the shot of them a little later, when they're getting married, is better done.
I agree.
I agree, Your Excellency.
Agree, but
mm-hmm.
I like that there are stakes here. All these other scenes they're going, we can't, we mustn't, we must.
Mm-hmm.
And this one, it's like, look, we love each other, and that's about to become irrelevant. because we're about to be killed. I like the immediacy of that. You know?
Yeah, I'm with you in theory. The music is helping.
Yeah.
Like Williams is getting center stage to do his love theme. But
got her bobby pin.
What's annoying is like, oh God, her hair looks crazy.
Her hair actually looks like dog diarrhea. Fuck.
So this is we are about an hour and 45 minutes into the movie,
and the movie's 2:20.
Movie's about 2:20.
Okay.
Have these two interacted since like minute 15?
No.
It's crazy how long they're apart.
Crazy.
Maybe, all right, no, maybe.
Vaginas?
Yeah, a lot of vaginas.
Thank you. That's another thing you told me I was crazy for reading into, and now you have to admit that I was right.
I hate that you cut from...
A vagina?
No. I like his language, though.
Those do look like clitoral hoods, though, do they not? Clitoral hoods.
Yes. Enough about the vaginas.
Clitoral.
Yeah, okay. You got the droid factory sequence, 10 minutes of shit.
Just garbage.
One little scene of Anakin and Padme, right?
Yeah.
And then 15 more minutes of this shit.
And he said he was watching the cut and he went, oh, not enough action. He had to put the droid factory in, even though he knew this was coming.
Yeah, why do you need the droid factory? Right. He was talking about momentum and how, like, the momentum of the movie is just starting to build up, so you need, but, like, that makes no sense.
Yeah,
because the momentum of the movie is sludge until the droid factory is seen.
And that's unending action after this. This would be kind of exciting if this was the first big action set piece we were getting.
Yeah.
For an hour, because this build-up is kind of nice and tense with the introduction of the creatures.
I just don't like this stuff because, as with Phantom Menace, the stakes are too low.
Too low.
You just know they're going to get out of it.
They're Jedi.
It's like, well, you know, like they got to fight.
Wait, David. So he said Padme seems to be on top of things, and now she's on top of a thing. Go on.
So sorry. You know, it's like, it's too easy.
Yeah, look at how quickly 2 of the 3 of them have, like, freed themselves of it.
From their manacles, yeah.
Yeah, like, all 3 of them came with ease.
And it just makes it so annoying. Like, this scene would even be less annoying if it wasn't a staged execution. It was just some crazy fighting pit they got themselves, like, mixed up in, right? Yeah. But instead, it's like, really, this is the plausible, like, you know, how they decide to, like, just shoot them.
I do really hate the rip of the fabric that exposes only Padme's midriff.
It's very annoying.
Only leaves scars on her back, so her tummy still looks fuckable.
Look, those are 3 people who are not in the same room.
Oh yeah, you're talking
Django, Poggle, and Boba.
I do kind of like the lack of music in this scene. I like when Georgie Porgy pulls it out and you're just hearing the sound effects.
I like when Newt Gunray is like, shoot her, and no one responds to him.
And he's like, no, that's...
Why doesn't Django just go like...
This is the first reasonable suggestion I've ever made.
Yeah.
I had a Padme action figure and she came with the pillar.
What a great thing for her to come with.
Yeah.
I guess Padme doesn't have a lot.
No.
Like, she has that cool gun in Phantom.
Yeah.
It's sort of slender pistol.
And she had whatever blaster she uses in this. She's such a tiny woman. It was like the pillar took up most of the package.
Yeah. She does have a very nice... Yeah.
Some dude growling. Is the implication that he's like controlling it with the Force, that he was able to subdue it with the Force?
Not
or
really.
Was that just a human being going like steady?
Yeah, I think it was more just horsey. This scene sucks.
Yeah, this movie sucks.
Bad. Like,
it's a bad movie.
Is there anyone who's like, look, I don't love Attack of the Clones, but the fighting pit sequence with the animals.
Yeah, the Geonosis arena sequence.
Jesus.
Okay, what do you think is Ewan McGregor's worst film, now that we've gone through his whole filmography? What's the worst film that Ewan McGregor has been in? Is this it?
Probably this one. That's a great question, though.
Is there any chance?
He's been in some crappy movies.
Yeah. Is there any? I hate robots. I can tell you.
I've never seen Robots.
It's really
mostly because it looks so. Yeah.
Yeah. Robots is terrible.
I haven't seen Mordecai.
We haven't seen. We have to see Mordecai.
We do. Although I don't want to turn into like, how did this get made? You know,
I'm not saying we have to do a Mordecai episode of the podcast.
But we
I'm just saying we need to see Mordecai.
That's very true.
I think some things we keep for ourselves. I don't want to just focus on movies that are bad. That's not what we're here to do.
I totally agree. Having seen Amelia is a god-awful movie.
Really? It's that bad?
It's very pretty, though.
Yeah.
It's prettier than this movie. So...
Hey, wait. Hold on. Haha, this party's over.
It is funny that so I'm going to say this one. It is funny that this movie took like this long to remember. Like, oh yeah, Samuel L. Jackson, you know.
Yeah. He
can deliver a line.
Yeah. It took 2 movies for them to remember.
Yep. This is...
Oh no, it's super battle droids. Oh, Django. Oh, this could be such a cool fight. Oh my god, Mace Windu, Django. Finally, 2 people.
I do like that Django lights his outer cloak on fire, so he has to kind of strip down to the, You know, in theory, this should be kind of cool. Why would he even bring the outer
cloak? He knows he's here for a fight. Some of these guys have outer cloaks, some of them don't. The ones who do are dummies.
The way this is animated is so bad because it's obviously all these stunt actors as Jedi.
David, something really funny is happening. Oh wait, David, it's not C-3PO, that's a battle droid.
But like, look, just try, like, there's so many scenes of these background Jedis literally just doing this.
Yeah.
Look, like kind of waving an arm around. Just try to look in the background. And they've just sort of tried to match battle droid deaths to those random waves. And it looks really crappy.
Not to mention that it's like, clearly they just like had 3 days where they were like, okay, who's our 10-15?
Yeah.
Like I came in and did 5 minutes of lightsaber fighting, and then they just copy pasted him in the background a bunch of times.
Totally. Yeah, this scene is frankly weird. The 3PO thing is kind of funny. I'm programmed for etiquette, not destruction.
Why would Anakin program him for etiquette?
It just, look, come on, it'll never make sense.
Anakin doesn't have good manners. What does he know about etiquette?
Jedi in close-up are pretty cool.
Yep.
Right here, I think...
But look at how much better the framing is of that shot that's entirely digital than the ones that are half and half, you know?
The pterodactyl guy just got shot.
Yeah, that guy sucks. Django does cool pistols. Those 2 actors aren't in the same frame.
No, not at all.
I like that run.
Yeah,
where Mace just has the lightsaber all the way out to the side. And at first I thought that looked goofy, but it's like, no, you want to hold it away from your body. It could hurt you.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's like,
here we go. So I forgot that first Django gets like trampled because it has to kill his jetpack, right? Ugh. That's the idea.
Yeah.
And then he shoots this guy
right in the face.
Kind of cool.
Kind of cool. Turns around.
Jetpack.
Here we go. Here's the battle we're waiting for. Mace Windu, Django. He's deflecting the bullets with his shield, and oh no.
Yeah, you see, I do get that. Like, yeah, you see his jetpack ignite, so he's obviously like, all right, I'm out of here.
Yeah,
and it doesn't work. But
it's a shitty version of the Raiders thing with the Cairo swordsman.
Well, everything's a shitty version of that. Oh yeah. God. What did I say? Did you read that interview with Anthony Daniels in The Guardian?
Yes.
Okay. It was really good.
Anthony Daniels is like kind of famously a dick, right?
I know.
And here's another thing. He hates Kenny Baker, who plays R2-D2.
Why does he hate him?
He's constantly like...
Is it just because R2-D2 is a jerk?
Yeah, R2-D2 is a jerk, and he's a method actor. No, Anthony Daniels hates Kenny Baker, and when they're like asked to do like events together,
yeah,
he's like, I won't be seen next to him, because he like doesn't think that Kenny Baker like is like, I'm an actor. Yeah. Kenny Baker is like running a remote control in a box. Aggressive negotiations.
kind of horrible, where the Jedi basically like cutting up these poor monsters
Yes,
too.
disgusting.
Because these monsters are basically like just enslaved by the Geonosians.
Well, if you remember when I did my Wikipedia research on the Reek,
Go ahead.
it's a creature that only turns red when it's like prodded and tortured.
Right.
They're like, you know,
Maybe this is just an elaborate commentary on like bullfighting.
it's like bullfighting. Have you ever been to a bullfight?
No.
Oh, once. It was the worst.
You went once? That's
Yeah.
crazy. Yeah, I mean, we've been to Spain, and I remember my dad being like, "Yeah, you don't want to see that shit." Like,
Yeah.
he maybe had seen one. He's just like, "It's gross,"
I spent like a month in the south of France when I was young, and we went to a bullfight, and it was awful. We hated it.
I can only imagine. I mean,
There was a lot of other stuff that was like goofy, like clown stuff.
sure, right.
leading up to it, we're
Because
like,
how
this
much
is kinda
could there
fun.
possibly be of
Yeah.
a bullfight? Yeah.
But when the bull comes out, they like take spears. And
No, I
guys in
know.
the stands
I
are
know.
stabbing the bull, so the bull's slowly bleeding out as it's
And they're
piercing around
making
the
him
gut.
mad.
Right. But it was just, you could just see blood all over. It was awful. It was terrible. It was worse than Attack of the Clones.
So this is the scene where they are, like, I guess, surrendering. Dooku says a bunch of nonsense about the archives. So my idea is at this point, like, what are they going to do? Take him prisoner? Yeah. They're Jedis. That's a bad idea.
And they're like, still like 15 of them. Will not be hostages, yeah. I kind of like the battle droids as designs. I think the super battle droids are
Super
really
battle droids are better. They probably should have just led
you
with
like
them. Oh, I like them better than the regular.
Oh,
battle
see,
droids.
I strongly disagree. I like the
Interesting.
original ones. I like their weird poopy diaper walks.
I hate them. Super battle droids make sense to me as something you would build. Battle droids make no sense to me as something you would build
Because they're so
shitty.
yeah. And they're really flimsy.
Like you feel like a child throwing rocks could kill them. They just make no. This is kind of a cool shot, and like some of the stuff of the clone troopers, like not the troopers themselves, but their equipment, is kind of like awe-inspiring. And I know that's the idea.
Yes.
Like you're supposed to be like, wow, like
I hope Revenge of the Sith gives us the fucking Clone Wars we're asking for. This is a movie we.
Yeah, but it won't.
I know it won't.
Yeah, like I know it's like funny and shit, but like it's not gonna.
I know because I saw it 3
But here's the thing.
Yeah.
Like I actually never wanted it to do that. I didn't want a Clone Wars movie that badly.
I want a movie set during the Clone Wars. I'm not saying I want an entire movie of war. I've already said that I don't like
Clone
that.
Wars are not interesting.
I think wartime is interesting.
Maybe.
I don't think setting a movie before war starts and after war starts makes sense for a franchise. I want a movie to see how these characters deal during wartime when everything is thrown into disarray,
Yeah, I guess so.
If Dooku. It is, I mean, insane how George was confident enough to name a character something that's so similar to Doo-Doo. That guy should be like serious and threatening and menacing.
Didn't he basically have all these names like written in like old notebooks? Like, isn't that where he gets all this shit from?
This is the weird moment where they push Padme out of the ship, right?
Yeah. What?
No, I'm just getting my water. Yeah.
I don't think, because I recently rewatched that, I don't think they actually push her out. She just kind of falls out. All right, so here's this interesting, weird, like, tech room.
Yeah.
And this makes no sense. They're caught off guard by the clone army, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that suggests that, like, Sidious... Yeah, whatever. Sidious played Sifo-Dyas to order the clone army. He played Dooku to gather the other army.
It makes no sense.
It doesn't make any sense. I get that the idea is it's supposed to be like a Reichstag fire. Like, he creates a crisis so bad only he could solve it. But, like, it doesn't... there's too many moving pieces.
His allies to be in on it as well? What does he mean by not
I don't know.
having them be beaten?
It's not cute that Yoda's like backwards syntax that he shouts like military commands in it. It's not cute.
Especially during war when it's like you need a
where he's like around the survivors, a perimeter create. Like, shut up.
What's like you need to be super clear with your commands because lives are depending on them. I see that weird fake zoom in. I hate. There's this weird.
These things are weird because you've seen them before,
yeah,
but you don't really know what they are.
No.
Are they like the centers of the donut chips?
Oh, maybe.
Maybe that's what they're supposed to be.
Maybe
they like go, maybe.
I like this guy
like
that
walkers.
Walks like a turtle. Yeah.
But like, here's a question that's never answered.
Spinny disc.
Was Camino building, and also in the extras they talk about this, that like literally everyone just made scenes of war chaos, and George Lucas just picked what was best.
Yeah, they were usually like, designed the crazy
fucking
shit.
Disconnected.
Yeah. Oh, this is just stuff happening.
Yeah, it's just crazy stuff happening. But like, all right, the Caminoans made the clones. Did they make all the warships?
No, it's a different planet. David, why do you ask such a stupid question?
Like, no one explains like how, because that's more important than the clones is this crazy war infrastructure.
Yeah.
Now, what did you say you'd call this red thing?
What I call this red thing?
Yeah, the killer sphere. What do you call it? That thing.
Oh, it's like
you had a name for it on an episode.
Like a death planet, right? like a killer star or something like that. Like a death planet, killer star, death star, killer star, planet, death planet, something like that.
It's weird how
some combination of those words.
It's weird how the
great design though. You have to admit,
very cool,
nice, clean, simple economic.
It's just funny that the bug people are like. It turns out they're like the master designers.
Yeah,
this is like the West Elm planet.
West Elm planet. David, I miss when we were talking about Mordecai. When we were looking at pictures of Mordecai.
This is the thing about Mordecai and Minions. Yeah. There's no way those movies are as funny as just the idea of them, right?
See, this is where
you think Mordecai is that funny?
Yeah, I think Mordecai has to be.
It might be.
I think watching Mordecai, every minute it continues to go on, I will be cracking up at the fact that it's still happening. Like, I take so much time.
Do you remember when Johnny Depp was the coolest guy on the planet?
Cool.
It was like he could do no wrong after Pirates of the Caribbean.
But do you even remember his stats before Pirates of the Caribbean was like, he's so underrated.
Yeah,
like
totally.
He's the actor of his generation.
Right.
He never gets recognized by the Oscars. All his movies flop.
So good. I love Depp in the 90s. He's
like this cool cult hero.
Yeah, I love Depp in the 90s. I love Ed Wood is one of my favorite movies.
Same here. One of my 10 favorite movies ever.
Dead Man is like one of the greatest movies of the 90s. I don't know if you've seen Dead Man.
Yes, of course.
It's a great movie. I like Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas, although it's a little tiresome, but he's very good in it. Yeah. He's amazing in Donnie Brasco.
Yeah.
Great 90s career.
But even shit like...
And like Edward Scissorhands, obviously.
Yeah. But I was going to say even shit like Gilbert Grape is like a very good performer.
Yeah.
You know, which he hasn't been able to do since then. Yeah. Now he either does like Ham Sandwich, or when he's not doing Ham Sandwich, he's like barely registered.
He's like stoned.
He's like sleepwalking.
Yeah. I love him in Sleepy Hollow. That's a really fun comedic performance. Now he made some weird movies like The Astronaut's Wife and The Ninth Gate.
Yeah, they're not all great.
Yeah, but like you can see in Don Juan DeMarco, that's a great movie. Have you seen that?
Yes.
That's a great movie. He's fantastic in that movie. And then Chocolat, okay, he's phoning that in. Blow, it's kind of a dull movie.
Yeah, he's pretty good in that.
He's all right.
Yeah.
From Hell. That's like, so okay, that's when Depp people are like, what's he gonna do? And then he makes Pirates.
But his career's at a weird crossroad where it's like he's a leading man.
She just falls out.
She just falls out. But they don't get her.
Yeah, so
he's a leading man, but his films don't do well. Right. And he's respected, but he's not an Oscar player.
Right. And then he makes Pirates, and people are like, yeah, well, this is a weird movie that won't do well. And instead, it's a huge movie, and he gets an Oscar nomination.
Right, so Kit and Caboodle now. He's finally respected by the Oscar.
Remember, the same year as Once Upon a Time in Mexico, which he's so great in.
Yes. Not a good movie. He's very...
Not a good movie.
Yeah.
And then 2004, he makes a bunch of shit. Secret Window, Finding Neverland, and The Libertine. It leaves no dent because Finding Neverland, which is horrendous.
But he gets a Best Actor nomination.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And then Charlie and the Chocolate Factory.
I defend.
It's all right.
I defend.
Christopher Lee's pretty funny in it.
Is really good in it.
And then we have to do an episode on Pirates of the Caribbean World's End, which I think is like secretly amazing.
Oh, I would love to do that.
Yeah. We can do the second one too, but
no, I wouldn't do the second one.
So the second one's really terrible.
You've heard my whole stand-up bit about Pirates of the Caribbean 3, right?
Yeah, it's actually very funny.
Yeah.
You guys should listen to it. And then I think Sweeney Todd's incredibly good in. I love that performance, and I really like that movie.
Yeah.
And then I love Public Enemies. I'm a Michael Mann fanboy.
I like Public Enemies a lot. I don't love it. I like Black Hat more.
Love Black Hat. Love him both.
Black Hat rules.
All right. Okay.
I think he's a little.
He's not. Yeah,
he's not.
Christian Bale is the star of Public Enemies. She's
American
incredible. She's great. Although she's playing such a shitty. Okay, so all of a sudden, lightning. Really like the look of the lightning. I want to say that.
Yeah, blue lightning's cool.
Really cool. And Dooku, like I said, Christopher Lee, it's fantastic. He projects so much authority.
Yeah. He's just got presence.
So when I had this movie on DVD and I would just watch this scene over and over again, which is crazy because the scene is bad. But
at the time,
yep. And even though Christopher Lee, I think, is probably only doing a little bit of this, they do a pretty good job integrating him into the fight.
Yeah.
That smile! I love him. Love Christopher Lee.
They do shoot around him very well.
They do a good job.
Yeah.
So cut to her in the desert, just like surrounded by cartoon people.
Cool. Oh, cool. I'm not going to be involved in any of the major end battle. Okay, cool. I'll just stay here with you. And now she's a military leader.
Yeah, he's on it.
Her running's really bad too. Ugh. So his arm's already been cut off at this point?
No,
it hasn't.
No, he just lightninged him.
What was that smoke coming out? Oh, it's just from the
lightning.
Right. Ugh.
I hate this. The CGI of this is horrible.
That jump is really bad.
That's what I was.
Oh, double lightsaber. So cool. But they have to shoot it from so far away.
And then so quickly they get rid of it. It's pretty cool when Anakin just for no reason cuts the power to the ship.
Yeah. That is cool.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Sparks are cool.
But this is just badly pales in comparison to the last fight. Phantom has a great fight.
God, you know what? Watching this
cool.
one final time is making me realize how much I love Phantom.
Phantom's great.
Phantom's got the pod race.
I know.
It
has two good set pieces.
It's got two great set pieces.
This is actually
it's got a lot more Watto.
That's horrible.
Dumb.
It's weird. It's not. Yeah. Christopher Lee, they make him work against Obi-Wan, but for some reason they can't animate him interestingly against Anakin. Yeah. That fight is very stilted. Yeah. But then it doesn't. So, I mean, I remember seeing this in the theater. We haven't talked about this. I saw this in the theater.
People went ballistic.
It was just pandemonium.
It was chaos. It was Beatlemania.
Like, I don't even remember seeing it.
Yeah, I don't
because I just remember everyone was just screaming.
I certainly know that I couldn't hear any of it.
No.
I don't know if I ever heard an audience react like that to anything ever.
Me neither.
And it's amazing because this is universally regarded as a horrible scene.
It's true.
But like at the time it killed, it was the thing. Like people were like, I know you didn't like the last movie.
I know.
But you gotta see this final scene. It's worth it just for the final scene. And then it won the fucking MTV Movie Award, the most prestigious of all awards. It won Best Fight at the MTV Movie Award.
But the weirdest thing is, Lucas didn't want to do it.
Whose idea was it?
I don't know, but it was basically, I think, eventually. Yeah, because in Phantom originally Yoda's a puppet, and like Lucas had to be prevailed on that they could do Yoda
digitally,
and apparently he was initially like, "Nah, I don't think so."
Yeah, and people were going insane. You couldn't even see the screen because there was so much cum.
That's what I'm talking.
It was just cum shooting at the screen.
It was just, and I saw it in Britain. Didn't matter, like pandemonium.
I saw Times Square opening day.
Yeah.
I went right after school, opening day. I saw it with Skylar Reddick, someone I haven't spoken to in 10 years.
It's quite a line. It's like such a labored line, and he somehow manages to sell it. Ugh.
Yoda's comeback should be lucky for you. I practiced my saber technique as much as Anakin practices his wit. What if that was his retort?
Be great. All right, so the problem with this is...
So I'm watching this right now and I'm yawning.
Yoda is just sort of moving around, and it's sort of the problem I was describing earlier. Christopher Lee is waving his lightsaber in general directions.
Yes.
And they're trying to match Yoda to it.
Yeah.
Because obviously there was no Yoda.
Yeah.
And it works 20% of the time. There's so many seams. Oh, God.
I was losing it at this point.
I know.
You couldn't hear this dialogue.
No.
People were still just people were getting married in the theater.
And it's crazy. Like, there's 2 minutes left of the movie.
I know.
That's basically it.
But people were even cheering this part. Like, they weren't angry about the fact that Dooku was getting away. They were cheering that, oh my God, Yoda can fucking lift that thing. And then this was the part where people go bullet. The biggest laugh I've ever heard in a movie theater coming up.
Oh, when he says begun this Clone War has?
No, that got gasps. It's this final Yoda moment coming up. Dooku's such a dick. It's a great performance, but he's such a dick.
His ship's pretty cool.
His ship's great. I love that ship. With its weird sails. This got the biggest laugh.
Just when he picked... Oh, and
now
he
he's just back to being an old man. People went bananas.
Yeah, well,
it was like Eddie Murphy Raw. Yoda came out in his skin-tight red leather jumpsuit.
God.
Can we talk about the Eddie Murphy Raw? Can I just talk about this for a second? Because I harp on this a lot.
Shoot.
Just how different our cultural landscape has changed. I'm not saying this in the complainy the fucking PC way. I'm going, thank God, but just to point how accepted this was at the time. The first track off of Delirious is the second one. Raw is the first, right?
I can't remember which comes. I think Delirious is first, but anyway, go on.
Whichever the first one was.
Yeah.
The first track on that album is just called Faggots.
Yeah, I know.
Okay, no one had a problem with it.
I know. And
I know some people have a problem with it. But
no.
90% of the population was like, that's comedy, who cares?
That bit is really tough to listen to.
Really tough to listen to.
Yeah, I can't really listen to it.
Do you know what the first track on the second album is called?
What?
Faggots Revisit.
Yeah, right. No, yeah.
He wasn't done. He had to come back to the well. He had so much more to say.
Well, because it's not to, but it's at the time, gay culture is going from being basically an underground, only heard of thing to a visible thing. And he's talking basically about his fear of that, right? He's like, oh my God, they're going to sneak up behind me. It's basically his joke.
Right. His points are that I find it gross when my girlfriends hang out with gay guys.
Right.
Because maybe they'll get AIDS. She'll get AIDS from them. Right. Isn't that one of the jokes he makes?
I swear to God.
It's like they're kissing their gay friends.
We're ending the episode on
Eddie Murphy's.
Anyway, I mean,
Eddie Murphy's gay, right?
He's super gay.
Eddie Murphy's gay, no question. That's why he did that.
He's gonna sue us.
I really want to work with Eddie Murphy.
He's a very funny man, but I honestly can't listen to Raw or Delirious.
I fast forward through those scenes.
Whereas I can listen to prior, even older comics, but yeah, it's tough to listen to that stuff.
No, I fast forward through those parts.
Join the dark side, Dooku has. No, there are, absolutely.
Yeah. The McDonald's bit's so incredible. The Elvis bit is, I think, one of the funniest things in history. Lemonade.
Yoda's just sitting in a chair.
Yeah. He's sitting in his poo-poo chair. Well, David, okay, so this is the end of... well, we don't have to wrap it up because we have the credits to talk over. I was going to try to get final thoughts out. We can say our final thoughts for a second.
My final thoughts are I'm really happy I don't have to watch this movie again. This movie is far worse than the first film.
No question. I love Phantom Menace now.
I know that if I watched Phantom Menace, I'd be like, oh, right, no, I don't like this one either. But I've always felt that it's better than that Clone.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe not when I saw Clone.
Yeah, no, I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm checking my own mental history. I think I thought this was the best one when I saw it.
Of all?
Of any movie ever made, yeah.
Oh my God.
Dumb.
Yeah, this is the cartoon scene of The clone.
Eddie
troopers.
Valiant's pulling his hair out.
It doesn't matter.
It's a tone. The goddamn tone.
I'm so exhausted. I'm like so tired.
Me too. I got like 4 hours of sleep last night.
Oh my god.
And I knew I was going to watch this movie on that amount of energy, and it was just going to knock the shit out of me. It's a taxing film to watch.
It really is. I think this is the first time I've watched it through in a few weeks.
Same here, because I've been watching only the pertinent sections.
Man, I am excited to see Revenge of the Sith.
You know what I'm excited to see?
What?
Revenge of the Smiths.
Oh,
Talk about who's on screen right there.
Smiths is gonna kill it.
Yeah,
All right, so here we are.
He's like fourth build. Okay,
this is kind of nice. And you know why? Because it's a real place.
And there's sun, and there's fauna.
Very nice.
And there's a nice.
And the
dress.
music's good.
Who's this officiating the ceremony?
Yeah, it's Eddie Murphy.
Do you know what I wish the last shot of the movie was? They hold hands. They this, right? This is what I wish the end of the movie was. Can we pan up? Oh, beautiful. Her veil. Mm-hmm. They kiss. He's still got his dumb rat
and
tail.
then it goes,
right?
Is that what you want?
C-3PO and R2-D2 are standing there as witnesses. Then we go back to that guy who was officiating with like his hood. And you're like, who is he? And he like walks away in the shadows. And then he like turns around, like one last look, takes off his hood. And it's Georgie Porgy. And he winks to the camera and he gives an okay.
No, I think
a classic buckwheat okay.
I don't think that would have been good.
And then it's an iris in on him.
I don't think that would have been good. But what if it was Qui-Gon?
That's all, folks.
If it was Qui-Gon.
What if it was Qui-Gon? That'd be great too.
Good.
What if it was Georgie Porgy and Qui-Gon together?
Wait,
they were stacked on top of each other. So
the final shot is their wedding.
Directed by Georgie, written by Georgie, story by George, produced.
Shut up! No! Cut this bit out right now. Don't want that. Because wait, billing order. Because I'm always excited by the billing order.
Yeah.
You know how excited I get about billing order.
So McGregor's first. We know that, right? I think it's McGregor, Portman, Christensen.
Right. I agree with you. Then Christopher Lee is my guess.
Ooh. You think Samuel Jackson still has the and?
Maybe Samuel Jackson's fourth. That's a fair point. All right, let's see.
Because he's got a bigger role in this one. Okay. But that's my big bet. And I think McDermott's usually got a big billing. He's usually high up. Okay, so McGregor's first. Starring
McGregor. Yep.
Well earned.
Yep.
Worked for his supper.
Natalie Portman. Number 2.
Okay.
Numero 2.
3 Christensen.
There he is.
Okay, 4th Samuel Jackson. I'm gonna go.
And Frank Oz as Yoda.
Wow.
And then co-starring McDermott and Pernilla August. Seniority is really important. Ahmed Best,
Oliver Ford Davies, Tamora Morrison, Anthony Daniels, Silas Carson, Kenny Baker, and Samuel Jackson as Mace Windu with Samuel Jackson
and Christopher Lee.
And Christopher Lee's Count Dooku / Darth Vader. Yeah. That's weird billing, Weird billing, bro.
I love some weird billing. All right, so
at trivia. Your guest round was weird billing.
It was a good round. It was hard. Most people didn't do it well. Yeah,
it was real tough.
So, final thoughts. As the credits roll.
James McTeague, first assistant director.
Yeah, went on to make V for Vendetta.
And then some shitty movies.
V for Vendetta is a shitty movie, but okay.
I loved it when I was 15.
Have you seen it recently?
Nope, because I don't want to kill my memories.
Piece of shit.
But it's better than
Star Wars Episode 2: Attack of the Clones.
Well, and also better than the other movies he did after that. He did Ninja Assassin.
I don't believe I've seen Ninja Assassin.
And he did The Raven, in which John Cusack plays Edgar Allan Poe trying to solve
murder mystery.
Yeah.
He also made Survivor this year.
He directed a season of Survivor on CBS,
starring Pierce Brosnan and Mila Jovovich.
Whoa.
Dylan McDermott, Angela Bassett, and Robert Forster, which, like, as much as I like all of those actors, they are a real sign of a problem. When Robert Forster's getting billing on your poster, that's not good. He made Ninja Assassin.
Yeah.
I did not see Ninja Assassin.
No one saw Ninja Assassin.
Okay. And then you've got V for Vendetta and The Raven.
But the first...
And I believe he's also the director who cleaned up The Invasion, which was the Oliver Hirschberg movie, in which like Oliver Hirschberg was like fired from.
Yeah,
I forget why.
Because it was a boring movie.
And he had made Downfall.
Yes, first AD on Phantom Menace, went on to direct Battlefield Earth.
I believe he was also. Oh, you're saying right. First AD on. Oh yeah,
on Phantom Menace.
And James McTeague was also first AD on The Matrix.
Right. But I'm saying first AD on Phantom Menace goes on to direct Battlefield Earth.
Yeah.
First AD on Attack of the Clones goes on to direct V for Vendetta.
Sure.
The Raven. Who do we think was first? Don't look it up.
I want to look it up, though.
Let's try to reverse engineer it from movies. I think the first AD on Revenge of the Sith was Walt Becker, director of Old Dogs. That's my bet. I think it was
You just wanted to get in a little plug for Walty Becker.
I love him. You know he's doing Alvin the Chipmunks 4?
Is he?
Yeah.
I believe it's called The Road Chip.
Yep, it's coming out this December. It is no joke in my top 5 most anticipated movies of the year because I think he's my favorite, like, vulgar auteur. His films are horrendous and they were so twisted, but they're so clearly the work of one artist realizing his vision perfectly, where he's like a bizarro version of John Waters who somehow is getting away with making kids' films. Like, they're films for families.
I don't know that I've ever seen a Walt Becker movie.
They're so perverse.
Wait, did he make Old Dogs?
He made Old Dogs.
Right.
He made Wild Hogs.
Wild Hogs. That's what I was asking.
Yeah, Old Dogs, Wild Hogs, and Van Wilder.
He made the first Van Wilder?
The first Van Wilder.
Which is quite gross.
Yeah, his movies are gross. Van Wilder has a bit where they make a dog fuck an eclair, and then they eat the eclair, and the eclair's full of dog cum.
I remember.
And then they let him make kids' movies.
Well, but like Old Dogs especially is like... That's a weird movie.
Yeah, but all his kids.
Have I told you the Todd Vanderwerf story about Wild Hogs?
No.
I'm pretty sure I have, but it's such a good story.
Tell again.
Todd Vanderwerf, who is my former boss at the AV Club and now works at Vox, TV editor at Vox, culture editor at Vox, told me his dad, he's from South Dakota. From like rural South Dakota. His dad does not see a lot of movies. In theaters, at least. They were in a movie theater seeing something. They saw a trailer for Wild Hogs. And, with Tim Allen, got Martin Lawrence, William H. Macy, John Travolta, I believe.
Yeah. Marissa Tomei, Ray Liotta.
Yeah, a bunch of sort of middle-aged guys taking a motorcycle.
Peter Fonda.
Yeah. That's the joke, right?
Yeah.
That's the movie.
Yeah.
So they see this trailer. Todd's dad stands up, points at the screen, and says, "We are seeing that movie." That's that. And Todd, I believe I was asking Todd, like, God, why is Wild Dogs doing so well? Like, who sees that movie? And he's like, well, let me tell you.
Do you know how much that movie made domestically 8 years ago?
$170 million.
Yeah.
Like, is that about it? Like, it's something.
It's 175. Yeah.
That's crazy. Well, people love Tim Allen.
Yeah.
Like, weirdly.
Yeah. Walt Becker is fascinating.
Okay. We can talk about Walt Becker. We'll do a Walt Becker episode.
Well, that's what I want to say, okay? So, last time...
Credits are almost over.
Well, that's what my point. We gave out the hashtag to prove that you would listen to the full episode.
Oh, yeah.
So, ready? This time it's a hashtag vote. Oh, by the way, if you experience any condition that distracted from theatrical presentation of this film...
1-800-PHONE THX. We did this last time. They didn't pick up. What's the hashtag?
Our eventual Walt Becker episode. Should it be called, and maybe it's an episode, maybe it's a miniseries, I don't know. We'll see how much people can tolerate.
Yeah.
Should it be called Old Pods?
Mm-hmm. Good start.
Or Pod Dogs?
Really hard to pick. I definitely would pick Old Pods. But send us your hashtag.
Well, that's the point. Yeah. Hashtag us with one of the two.
Yep. Old Pods or Pod Dogs. It's definitely going to be Old Pods.
Well, let's put Wild Pods in there if you want to do. Okay,
yeah, so Wild Pods.
Old Pods or Wild Pods.
Or if you really want Pod Dogs,
it's fine.
It's fine.
But we're going to talk about not Pod Wilder.
No.
Not
the Road Pod.
Pod Chip.
Okay.
The films of Walt Becker will be discussed in the future. He's our greatest vulgar auteur. Thank you for listening.
Yep.
We're done with this movie. Let's all promise to never watch it ever again. Everyone listening, 2 of us here, will never watch it.
Break your Blu-ray in half, which is hard to do. Very strong. All right. Okay. Signing off. David Sims, Griffin Newman. We'll see you next week for, what are you calling it?
The Podcastic 2.
Podcastic 2. And as always.
Long
live Mordecai.
Mordecai!